Hey T Super, hey T, hello, hello. Which out here, face the nation, guys are hungry, force impossible. Last chance, Putin. Trump makes a new move. Hey Vicky, Vicky. I know I should be asleep, but I needed to play this walkout. I ran across quite a bit today. Ran across oh girl, ooh, Gina. First I was a little irritated about her. That with Diddy, that missing victim number 3 who did not take the stand, which also made some of their case look crazy because they didn't have one of the main witnesses. Now this heifer sent a letter to the judge. I hope the judge hold her in some form of contempt, or the feds charge her, because either she lied when she gave that statement initially, or she lying now, one or the other. And I hope they look at her like she crazy. What happened to you? So are you lying now, saying Diddy ain't no threat? So why did you give a statement? Yeah, I think that's the craziest mess. Did he force you? Or did you lie? So I'm gonna talk about that later tomorrow. Well, it's today, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I think that's the craziest shit. How dare her? How dare her? Yeah, but he did it panicking, y'all, because Trump said, oh, no, player. You played yourself. And you getting all type of people writing letters saying how big of a threat you are. Yeah. Trying to force people. Here you go again. But in all fairness, if I was tied up in this mess that Diddy had going on, Epstein, Ghislaine, and Trump got going on, because again, Miami coming. It gotta come. He trying to offset it. I know he know his name is mentioned somewhere in the equation. And hell, now he don't know if the judge and what the process, he just panicking his little ugly ass out. You hear me? Ha! He does not want to get caught up in that mess, plus the other lawsuits that he got coming that he know is right around the corner. He know the judge is taking all that into consideration, plus the stuff that we don't know nothing about. Nothing about. And I kept telling y'all, if y'all remember, I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it's not. But I know it's true. I just don't know if it has been pulled up. If it came up in his past. Because Diddy had pled guilty to a battery. A domestic battery in California. Some time ago. So while everybody's saying he don't have no record, yes he do. And it just depends on how deep they go off into their investigation, even if that'll pop up. Now granted, he say he going to get counseling and all that type of stuff, But hell, I thought they didn't have them type of programs in the MSD or MDC or ABC. I didn't think they had it there. So how he getting counseling? Oh, I guess the same way he colored his hair. Oh, okay. Because I don't know nobody who new growth come in dark when they got gray on top. I don't know how he made that magic happen if he couldn't get his hair colored while he locked up. But I guess that's the same way he going through counseling and, you know, getting this domestic. Because I heard there wasn't none of them type programs in there. Yeah. So how they making that happen? I don't know. But anyway, I'll talk about her dumb ass later on. I want us to, also, Elon Musk, I need to put that in the title somewhere. Elon dropped 3 names. He dropped 3 names, y'all. Elon dropped 3 names of people who need to be concerned. I need to change my background. I need to give y'all some eyes. I need to give y'all some eyes. I need to look at y'all crazy. Since I'm a Y'all, if y'all don't hit the damn like button, it's 150 of y'all and ain't but one of y'all hit the like button. I promise I will end it. I promise. Get out. Get out. Y'all can't hit the like button. Get out. Vicky. Thank you, Vicky, but I'm going to put my message anyway. Because I sure was typing. Hey, Brian. Y'all better thank Vicky. So, Elon. What is this? An interview with Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, that's the niece. That's the niece. This one, y'all, right here. I'm going to do research on it, too.
Who is a major damn donor. And also an Epstein client.
Able to say and do whatever the leader wants and...
Oh, yeah, I put a whole bunch over here, didn't I?
That lawsuit was funded by Reid Hoffman, who is a major damn donor. And also an Epstein client. The plot thickens.
The plot thickens. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
It's so blatant. It's like so obvious. The SpaceX lawsuit, the Trump stuff, it's so obvious.
Yeah.
He dropped
Like
more names.
known Epstein clients who are obviously extremely powerful, powerful politically and very wealthy, are Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, and Reid Hoffman, and some others too, but those three. So why was Reid Hoffman so intent on destroying Trump?
Do you think it's because they're worried about the list coming out?
Yeah, one of the reasons. Yeah. That lawsuit was funded by Reid Hoffman, who is a major damn donor.
What? Oh,
And also an Epstein client.
he was an Epstein. Reid
The
Hoffman.
plot thickens.
The plot thickens. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Lord.
It's so blatant. It's like
Yeah.
so obvious. The SpaceX lawsuit, the Trump stuff, it's so obvious.
Yes. Like known Epstein clients who are obviously extremely powerful, powerful politically and very wealthy, are Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, and Reid Hoffman, and some others too, but those three.
Gates, Clinton, and Reid Hoffman. So and he said he was trying to take, hold on.
So why was Reid Hoffman so intent on destroying Trump?
Do you think it's because they're worried about the list coming out?
Yeah, one of the reasons.
So is there a list, y'all? Is there a list? Yeah, there's a list. Reid Hoffman. Now, I had started to do research on him, but I got busy. But I will. Y'all do know I will. It's a lot going on. Elon Musk revealed 3 names linked to Epstein. Bill Gates, Reid Hoffman, and Bill Clinton. I had this one too. Let me see.
Hey everybody, I'm going to play this documentary for you. That's very hard to find. I was interviewed for this documentary 30 years ago.
What they're sending their girls into. You are there for the purpose of somebody wanting to take you home to bed. And what happens if you say no? You don't work. Every week, dozens of young American girls walk off airplanes in Paris and Milan, certain that their faces will be the next to be from the covers of the fashion magazines. They are girls as young as 15.
Yeah. It just started popping up. Let me see what he said. Did I watch? It says Sunday. Hold on.
There is no question in my mind that Jeffrey Epstein took advantage of loopholes in the law to exploit women, particularly the loophole that allows the banks to get away with looking the other way when someone like Epstein is engaging in these vile practices. My team saw firsthand names of women and young girls in these documents. And from an investigation standpoint, that's a big tell. I'm Ron Wyden, one of Oregon's United States Senators, and I'm the ranking Democrat on the Senate Finance Committee. And we decided that this was very much in our brand of saying we'll do investigations where we follow the money. With our investigations, we have a paper trail. The only people who've seen it thus far are the bipartisan
Just
staff
like, how's he
of the
still
Senate
getting
Finance
paid?
Committee. We started looking more than 3 years ago, we were very interested, of course, in the banks, because the banks, I'm Ron Wyden, one of Oregon's United States senators, and I'm the ranking Democrat on the Senate Finance Committee. And we decided that this was very much in our brand of saying we'll do investigations where we follow the money. With our investigations, we have a paper trail. The only people who've seen it thus far are the bipartisan staff of the Senate Finance Committee. We started looking more than 3 years ago. We were very interested, of course, in the banks, because the banks have special rules, federal rules, that they are supposed to step up and protect the public when there are serious problems. And we have accounts, we have federal files, and we can look into areas that nobody has ever really thought of. I started from the proposition, it doesn't get any more serious in terms of a really god-awful offense than sex trafficking. And everywhere we turned around, we would see very affluent people. And of course, it seems that much of it started in Palm Beach and New York and a handful of neighbors where people talk. In the case of Mr. Leon Black, for example, one of the settlements really in effect says that some of the money that Mr. Black made available to Mr. Epstein was used for sex trafficking. So we followed the money. We went to the Treasury Department. We looked at suspicious activity reports, what are called SARs. We made it bipartisan. You know, we worked on this early on with Republicans, and the more we saw, the more concerned I was, and that's why most recently we made clear that we were talking about well over 4,000 wire transfers. I knew that there'd be a lot of wire activity trying to get.
How much y'all want to bet some of them wires? I'm told y'all the other day, gonna be linked to Trump. Either he's stealing from him now, or he was making deposits before, and those deposits was for trafficking.
So much money around the world for Epstein's sex trafficking, but I never expected 4,000 wire transfers through one bank. Is $1 billion in total. We showed that this was not a kind of flashy one-off, and we assume that much of what is in those wire transfers, the details, involves activity in sex trafficking. This investigation has taken more than 3 years, and we went to the Treasury Department and looked at the documents with the Biden staff in February of 2024. The reason this is different than during the Biden times is we have much more information. We were just in the information gathering period during the Biden administration. This was building step by step by step, collecting the evidence, examining it, making sure we knew where it was and how you won off. And we assume that much of what is in those wire transfers, the details, involves activity in sex trafficking. This investigation has taken more than 3 years, and we went to the Treasury Department and looked at the documents with the Biden staff in February of 2024. The reason this is different than during the Biden times is we have much more information. We were just in the information gathering period during the Biden administration. This was building step by step by step, collecting the evidence, examining it, making sure we knew where it was and how you would access it. We continued to collect more information, and when we felt that it was time to respond and to particularly get the Trump people moving on an investigation, we did. Donald Trump has made some far-fetched statements over the last few months.
July the 17th, 2025.
in the last few days was his claim that the Jeffrey Epstein matter was a hoax and a scam. I went to the floor of the United States Senate and then I told the American people as it became clear that Donald Trump would not. It is absolutely ludicrous for Pam Bondi to say that there is nothing to investigate. 4,000 wire transfers, that is a heck of a lot of lines for possible investigation. But Trump's DOJ had no interest in spending a significant amount of time looking at those files at the Treasury Department. They didn't go to Treasury because they didn't want to face the facts. Donald Trump was president through all of this. Donald Trump knew Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein died in a federal prison under Donald Trump's watch. Now his attorney general
and the other day, I was supposed to bring that he up here having people telling people, you know, I didn't have anything to do with it. People are thinking that I had something to do with it. You know I didn't, right? Oh, I gotta find that. I gotta find that. I gotta find it.
The Trump people moving on an investigation, we did. Donald Trump has made some far-fetched statements over the last few months, but a stunner in the last few days was his claim that the Jeffrey Epstein matter was a hoax and a scam. I went to the floor of the United States Senate and then I told the American people as it became clear that Donald Trump would not. It is absolutely ludicrous for Pam Bondi to say that there is nothing to investigate. 4,000 wire transfers, that is a heck of a lot of lines for...
How can you say there's nothing to it? Yeah, because his bank, his name, his business, and people that he know, make no mistake about it, are part of them wire transfers.
Few months, but a stunner in the last few days was his claim that the Jeffrey Epstein matter was a hoax and a scam. I went to the floor of the United States Senate and then I told the American people as it became clear that Donald Trump would not. It is absolutely ludicrous for Pam Bondi to say that there is nothing to investigate. 4,000 wire transfers, that is a heck of a lot of lines for possible investigation. But Trump's DOJ had no interest in spending a significant amount of time looking at those files at the Treasury Department. They didn't go to Treasury because they didn't want to face the facts. Donald Trump was president through all of this. Donald Trump knew Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein died in a federal prison under Donald Trump's watch. Now his attorney general is saying there's nothing to investigate. Pardon me. I continue to be very concerned about Epstein having used sanctioned Russian banks to basically spread money from sex trafficking all around the world.
Now, y'all remember when Trump was in office before, he had business deals, he had made plans, he had a whole bunch of things lined up, including with Russia. See, him and Putin at it right now cause of unfinished business, bad business, you know, after he got him, assisted him on getting elected same way, same situation as he got going on with Elon Musk. See, Elon knows so much because Trump propositioned him about this human trafficking stuff as well. You understand? Yeah. He wanted them to make deals with the devil to jump on this pyramid, this child trafficking pyramid that they got going on. So when I hear Russia and Israel and all of that there, I remember Putin did the same thing Elon Musk did as far as getting him back in position so that he could get back in office to take over so that they could continue with their illegal practices to line their pockets, make us pay for it. So in essence, we are funding this human trafficking stuff. Yeah. I mean, we may not want to look at it that way, but that's exactly what's happening. These tariffs, I mean, since he ain't supposed to be fooling with them no way, he over there issuing our tariffs, making us have to pay for it. That's taxing us. But I don't know if his dementia must be really, really, really bad. But carry on.
Having used sanctioned Russian banks to basically spread money from sex trafficking all around the world. The next step is for the Treasury Department to make available on a bipartisan basis to the Senate Finance Committee the documents we've asked for. My own judgment is if Pam Bondi wanted to get up in the next morning or two and make these documents available to the Senate Finance Committee, she could do it. One of the most important questions that comes out of this is why were America's leading banks, a number of them, basically sleepwalking through this whole Epstein matter.
Right.
They should have been watchdogging this. They should have brought to law enforcement what they believe was.
Well, they have, I mean, some alarms should be going off with money being millions, almost billions, still being ran through Epstein's accounts. So somebody, working in the banks have to be involved as well.
Going on. One of the key changes I'm going to push for is writing new black letter law that makes sure that there will be civil and criminal sanctions when banks see this sort of activity and they look the other way.
Right.
I've come to feel that there's some issues that aren't considered blue or red. That's the case with sex trafficking. People believe it's just plain wrong. They understand that women and young girls are getting hurt. And they want to know what happened, and they want the answers.
It's no side. It's just, we want answers. It's not about left, it's not about right, it's not about red, it's not about blue. It's just about the victims.
Sex trafficking. People believe it's just plain wrong. They understand that women and young girls are getting hurt. And they want to know what happened, and they want the answers.
I agree. So banks are involved. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me find my other one before I get over here. Y'all listen. Why I check I got a boots on the ground function coming. Them, can y'all see them boots? I want y'all. What y'all think about these boots? I gotta get some cowboy boots. Can you believe that? But I want y'all opinion why I'm pulling up stuff. Move over. What y'all think about them? Are them cute? They gotta be different. They gotta be a little girly. They gotta be a little sassy. But I think those are cute. What y'all think? I got my boots on the ground. Okay, come on, I'm trying to go back. Hold on. Let's put that here. That's the FC. Hold on, I got some more stuff before I go over there. Now, what was this one? I don't remember what this was. I watched it earlier today. Hold on.
I stopped wearing makeup in January and it's changed my skin. I don't even wear foundation anymore unless it's a special occasion. Instead, I started using Dermatology's Matte Universal
I've been reading all of your stuff about Jeffrey Epstein, which is, of course, what you've been spending a lot of time talking about lately. And
I want the butler.
We're going to talk about tonight. 2005, I guess. Is that the year that some girls started coming forward and talking to the police in Florida?
I got the butler.
In Palm Beach. Tell me what happened. Who were the first girls who were brave enough to do that, and how were there? You know, we have a. I've been reading all of your stuff about Jeffrey Epstein, which is, of course, what you've been spending a lot of time talking about lately, and we're going to talk about tonight. 2005, I guess. Is that the year that some girls started coming forward and talking to the police in Florida?
Right,
in
Palm Beach.
Tell me what happened. Who were the first girls who were brave enough to do that, and how were there? You know, we have a culture now where there's a lot of issues about people not being believed, which discourages people, victims, from coming forward. What were their claims, and how were those claims treated by the police when they came forward?
The local Palm Beach police took the case very seriously. They actually did a masterful investigation of this case because, you know, once they found one girl, that one girl said, these two girls brought me. They go to the other two girls, and the two girls said, well, this girl took me. So they had a 200-page investigation, and you could see the threads on how all these girls. Now, they didn't all know each other because the first girl didn't end up knowing all the other girls in the pyramid. But they all told the same story, you know, about how they were recruited, how they're led into the back door in the kitchen. They go up the stairs to his combination bedroom, bathroom, and just the same thing. They were there hired to give him a massage, and maybe they were going to have to undress in some form, and that they would be paid to give him a massage. They had, you know, by the end of their investigation, at least a dozen, close to 24 girls who all were telling the same story. So they went about getting all kinds of corroborating evidence. They were picking through his trash. They were it's like out of a movie. When they picked up his trash, then they would take it somewhere and offload it. And they found all these messages in there where it said something like, Melissa is going to come after soccer practice. Courtney will be there at 2. She's going to bring her friend Allison. I mean, messages after messages. They got the phone records. The phone records showed that there were calls made back and forth between the girls and the recruiters. They conducted a pretty thorough investigation.
You got involved in this story in 2017, is that right? Is that when you started investigating it? This is really essentially at this point a cold case because everything's been sealed. He's been free and up to his usual stuff. And what brought it to your attention, and how did you crack this case?
After he pleaded guilty, there was a couple of victims who had filed a lawsuit against the federal government claiming that by doing this deal in the way they did, they violated the Federal Crime Victims' Rights Act, which gives victims certain rights, like you're allowed to appear at the hearing where the criminal who's charged with your crimes is going to be sentenced. You're allowed to find out from the prosecutors exactly the status of your case. When there's a plea deal, you should be told about it. None of this happened in this case. So they filed a lawsuit in 2008. On sale, like $600. 2017, and that lawsuit was still sitting there. The judge hadn't made a decision, and I thought, why is it taking these girls, women now in their late 20s, 10 years to litigate this case? It just seemed crazy to me, and I thought I need to take a look at this and find out why. And
one of the things that happened simultaneous to that was that you're allowed to find out from the prosecutor violated the Federal Crime Victims' Rights Act, which gives victims certain rights, like you're allowed to appear at the hearing where the criminal who's charged with your crimes is going to be sentenced. You're allowed to find out from the prosecutors exactly the status of your case. When there's a plea deal, you should be told about it. None of this happened in this case. So they filed a lawsuit in 2008, and here it was 2017, and that lawsuit was still sitting there. The judge hadn't made a decision, and I thought, why is it taking these girls, women now in their late 20s, 10 years to litigate this case? It just seemed crazy to me. And I thought, I need to take a look at this and find out why. And one of the things that happened simultaneous to that was that Acosta was nominated by Trump to be his labor secretary.
Right.
And I thought, this is going to be interesting. I hope they ask him about this little thing, you know? And it was like a footnote to the hearings, and he got confirmed. And this man who basically allowed Epstein to practically walk free is now in charge of a huge agency with oversight over human.
So Trump's agent allowed Epstein to walk free, and Trump, second in command at the Department of Justice, allowed Ghislaine to be moved where there is no tower, no gates, no guards, none of that. It's a dorm. Yeah.
Human trafficking and child labor laws. So my initial goal was really to just try to find the women and try to do a react story. And I had no idea at the time that it was going to lead to such a big investigation. I didn't realize it at the time that it would take me so long to find the women because...
Yeah, how did you do that? How did you track them down?
Well, you know, all their names weren't in the record because they were all minors. So they were all Jane Doe 1, Jane Doe 2, all the way up to Jane Doe 143.
Oh my God.
So you know, I had to really just do a lot of digging.
He don't care nothing about them.
Find where they forget to redact a name, or there's part of a name and then a birth date. So it was like this big puzzle. Yeah. I found the names of 60 women, and I tracked them pretty much all of them down. And then in doing that, then that's when it really veered away from a react story, because just by tracking them down, I found out where their lives had led them. And a lot of them did not fare well in the years that followed. A lot of them fell into drug addiction, abusive relationships. Some of them had passed away. So by that time, Epstein's out. He's flying his jet all over Europe. I thought, you know, here's this man that's back to his jet-setting life, and these women, in my mind, no matter how many stories that had been written up until that time, I felt that none of them had really explained what had happened to these women and why it had happened. I sent letters to almost all of them, and I managed to get 4 of them to agree to talk to us on the record and on camera.
I cannot imagine.
One of the beauties really about the project was that I told them they didn't have to talk about the abuse at all, because really, to me, the story was the breakdown of the criminal justice system and what had happened to them. So I said, you don't really have to talk about that at all. I said, I want to know how this happened and why it happened and what you want to say about this. And it was sort of a watershed moment for them, because they felt that no one had ever asked them about that before, that everybody was so concerned and so involved in this salacious nature of the story, and, you know, the sex part of the story, and the celebrity that was part of the story, and the political angle that was part of the story, that nobody had really taken the time to understand exactly what this had done to their lives. And even today, and how much that they still, you know, suffer as a result of what happened. Because they weren't just molested. They were betrayed by the very people in government that were supposed to protect them and bring them justice.
So the 3-part piece you wrote for the Miami Herald, which is called Perversion of Justice, and I urge you, it's online, I urge everybody to read it if you haven't read it already. It's an amazing piece of reporting and writing, and that really led to a sort of cascading series of events after that, because he was charged. And was that a tremendously vindicating moment for you as a journalist to see that actually this had been taken seriously by somebody?
I mean, I was in shock. Emily and I still look at each other sometimes. You know, we're coming to New York for all these hearings, and first he's arrested, and we're sitting there waiting to hear the charges, and then the media said to Jeffrey Berman, the prosecutor, well, why now? Why'd you arrest him now? And he looks just at me and he goes, we were assisted by some amazing investigative reporting.
Thank you, Julie. No doubt.
Awesome. Okay, hold on, y'all. Let me get...
If you haven't exercised in years...
No. It's too late to be talking about exercise. Okay, so let me get over here. Here go the other one. Let me show y'all this one. Yeah, I don't... Let me hush. I was finna say something crazy. So listen, we finna go over and listen to what happened in Texas. The Texas Democrats walked out because they was trying to rig the midterm election so that they could have total control. So they walked out, went to Chicago, took a trip. Why does this? I'm not trying to do that. Hold on, y'all. And that's where we're about to go in just a minute. But until these are the other pair I like. I like them too. It says, wow. I don't know why it's called Wild Heart Leather Cowboy Boots, but I like these as well. But they don't look too cowboy to me. Hi, Dante. I like them though. They just don't give me cowboy, you know, for line dancing and all that type of stuff. But hold on, let me get back over to the other one. And put Texas up for this one. We on our way to Texas. Now it kind of makes sense to me also why old girl was moved to Texas. He's counting on Texas to, you know, he was going to rig it up. Yeah, get out of Texas, man, with all that fracka-nacka. Bull crap. I don't know what you got going on, but it didn't work. Let's check it out. Y'all, I'm going to ask y'all to get the likes up. This type of stuff don't make sense to me. But shout out to Vicky. Shout out to her. Well, hold on. We greatly appreciate you. Hold on. Trump and tripping, told somebody to go to Schumer, told him to go to hell. Let's see, let's go. Why the volume keep moving?
State Department of Education board members who reported seeing inappropriate content on the television in the office of State Superintendent Ryan Wall.
That's not it, Ryan. Oh, Lord.
To appear alongside the Illinois governor could give Republicans an edge. So in the next few minutes, we are going to give you some additional and I am coming to you from our WFAA studio on this Sunday evening with more on the breaking news we have been covering all night. Democrats from the Texas House of Representatives flying out of state some to Chicago, some to Boston, some to Albany, New York. They are breaking quorum during this special session. That means they are working to prevent a vote on that redrawn congressional map, a controversial map that certainly could give Republicans an edge. So in the next few minutes, we are going to give you some additional context about why all of this really impacts you no matter where you are watching us from tonight, here in Texas or even beyond. We are awaiting a news conference from the Texas Democrats who went to Chicago. We are expecting them to appear alongside the Illinois governor maybe in the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. And as we are waiting on that to begin, we are going to go ahead and bring in Jason Wheeler. He is the co-host of our YOLOTIX political podcast. He's going to be with us throughout the next little bit. And Jason, this quorum break, no surprise at all.
That was going to be the first line out of my mouth here, Teresa. This isn't a surprise. I think that the only surprise was, leading into this week was what day Democrats were going to choose to do this here in Texas. They just don't have any power in the legislature to stop a bill like this or to stop movement on redistricting maps because Republicans have such a majority in both chambers at the Capitol. And of course, we've got a Republican governor here in Texas. So they're really powerless to stop something like this unless they can leave the state and leave the House of Representatives in Austin without enough members. They have to have a certain number of members in order to be able to conduct business and to have a vote on something. And if enough Democrats leave, in this case they needed 51 of the 62 Democrats to leave the state. If you can get that many to leave, it freezes the House in place. The House just can't go forward with business. And so that's what Democrats here have done. One other surprise, I think, though, is that they chose to go to 3 different places around the country, as you were just talking about. I don't know that we've seen them do that before. They've walked out of the legislature before for different issues, including a mid-decade redistricting back in the early 2000s. But this is an interesting twist to see them go to 3 different locations in 3 different states. I think one other surprise, or one other unknown, I should say here, one other big question mark hanging over this is how long they plan to be gone this time. The last time that they were fighting redistricting, they stayed away for about a month and then came back, and then those maps ended up getting right through just as Republicans had wanted in the first place. This time, maybe it's me, but I've been speaking with some of the Democratic leadership here in Texas leading up to today, and they sound different this time. So I don't know. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's just a different tone. Maybe we'll see them come back within that same kind of time period as before, or maybe they're planning to decamp for much longer this time, Teresa. It's just kind of an unknown.
Yeah, well, this special session that's currently underway should end on August 19th, so I guess it's possible that they could just be delaying the inevitable, but if they stay away through the end of this special session, of course, Governor Abbott has the ability to call a second special session right away. So you're right, that is sort of the unknown. And then the other part of this is that after they broke quorum in 2021, when they were trying to prevent a package of voting restrictions from passing, new rules went into effect that put more higher fines on these members when they break quorum. So a lot of different things at play. So Jason, stay with us. I want to now try to bring in Matt Howerton, who is in our newsroom. Matt's been following this story for us all evening long. And Matt, let's go to you. You can kind of just break down everything that's been happening and what is happening now.
Yeah, Teresa, the moment this newly proposed voting map hit the floor, this move was always on the table. And as Jason mentioned, I think it was not a matter of if, it was a matter of when. A quorum-busting walkout penned in pencil, but now it is written in ink. Today, roughly 51 Texas House Democrats booked one-way tickets to Chicago, Boston, Albany, leaving the Capitol, and Austin to stall this redistricting plan that aims to add 5 Republican seats to Congress, which... Yeah, Teresa, the moment this newly proposed voting map hit the floor, this move was always on the table. And as Jason mentioned, I think it was not a matter of if, it was a matter of when. A quorum-busting walkout penned in pencil, but now it is written in ink. Today, roughly 51 Texas House Democrats booked one-way tickets to Chicago, Boston, Albany, leaving the Capitol, and Austin to stall this redistricting plan that aims to add 5 Republican seats to Congress, which would increase the chances of maintaining a Republican majority in the U.S. House of Representatives. There are roughly 16 days left in this special session, as you mentioned, so this is a move to run the clock out, so to speak, so these maps don't move forward. Obviously, the governor can move forward with another session, and it's highly likely this new map will eventually become reality. That has caused such a stir amongst both parties here, but this walkout will drum up awareness, headlines, and lots of attention as to what's happening here in Texas. Even under a new law passed in 2023 following a walkout in 2021, as you mentioned, those lawmakers can be fined up to $500 a day for not being present. So around right now, with I think 16 days left in the session, that's up to $8,000 per member if they stay away until the end of this special session. The National Democratic Party will help cover that cost, and warrants for the arrest and return of these lawmakers who have left will likely be issued since they are in a blue state, though. It's unlikely that the state of Texas, or at least anyone trying to get these lawmakers to return, will get any cooperation from officials in Illinois, New York, or in Massachusetts. This all coming as the Texas House was set to debate and potentially vote on this new map on Monday. And there's a press conference expected later tonight in Chicago with those lawmakers there who have left. And again, this isn't the first time that Democrats have left Texas to avoid a redistricting vote. In 2003, Democrats took off to Oklahoma and New Mexico to achieve the same goal when U.S. House Majority Leader Republican Tom DeLay was trying to tilt Texas to tighten the grip, the GOP grip in Congress. And we just spoke with a former lawmaker who was part of that group. His thoughts, we're going to have those tonight at 10 and later on WFAA+. But for now, Teresa, back to you.
All right, Matt Howerton sort of breaking down how we got where we are and where things stand tonight. Matt, thank you so much. We will see you on WFAA News at 10. Before we go back to Jason, I do want to make mention that Republicans are, of course, weighing in. We have heard tonight from Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, who posted on social media, I don't know if we can bring that quote up, but he said, quote, Democrats in the Texas House who try and run away like cowards should be found, arrested, and brought back to the Capitol immediately. He went on to say, quote, we should use every tool at our disposal to hunt down those who think they are above the law. End quote. We also heard from Representative Jeff Leach in the Collin County area. He posted saying, quote, for any of my Democratic colleagues who want to ride back to Texas after your hot dogging quorum break attempt implodes, give me a call. So clearly a lot of snark going on.
Bryant, you still here? Are you still here?
Back and forth between the two parties, but also this is serious business. I did see House Speaker Dustin Burrows post earlier that all tools are on the table. He was trying to sort of go back to some of the things that Democrats had been saying as they approached this potential quorum break that has come to pass tonight. Okay, let's bring Jason back in. And Jason, I don't know if you've kept an eye on your email, but just to let you know, and our viewers as well, it sounds like the plane that was carrying some of these lawmakers to Chicago has been delayed a little bit. So instead of a news conference starting at 8:15, we're looking more at like 8:30. And so Jason and I are going to be talking you through some things as we continue to wait on the beginning of that news conference. But let's first, Jason, I feel like sometimes when people hear redistricting, they don't quite grasp A, what it is, B, why it matters. So let's just talk from a general perspective.
Word.
Exactly,
You know,
exactly.
You hear
okay, so here go the crops.
Your eyes
I was
almost
looking at.
start to go halfway down just on hearing that word, I think, a lot of times. Although
I know these people don't want to see my boots, but since you was talking to... No, you didn't. These the Crocs. Can you, let me see. Are these Crocs or Gators? I don't know. Hold on. What you think about them? And there was one more I was gonna show you. Hold on. I gotta hurry up and get them, whichever I decide to do. But I saw them. I don't know if I thought that was a little too masculine. But they cute though. I ain't gonna even lie. To me. Hold on. I like those. But I don't think they had these in my size. Where my other one? Hold on. One more I'm going to show you. If I can find it. I like these. One more. Cause see, those to me are not, here, come on. I love these. I love these. I love these. I like the exotic hair. I absolutely love these. Okay, so let me get back to it. I love those. Oh my God, I love them. Okay. I mean, if I gotta spray bread on some cowboy boots. Okay, there we go.
It seems like in recent cycles, people have become a little more savvy about the power of redistricting. And basically what it does is, you look at a map of Texas. Texas has 38 congressional districts, okay? So you've got to carve that up 38 ways, and, you know, it's got to be a contiguous map, so you can't have a little piece over here and a little piece over here for one district. They've got to, you know, it's got to be a continuous area. And so they carve this up 38 ways, and then we go and we vote in, you know, wherever area we're in on our member of Congress, who that person should be. What they're doing here and what this entails is moving voters around. So they'll get those lines and they'll adjust them a little bit this way and open them up that way and go up this way, and that's when you get those real funky looking districts that, you know, you couldn't possibly draw on your own, and that's how they divvy up these districts. Now, you know, a lot of times they know the voting habits of the people in those areas because they can look at a lot of data, especially these days. It's not done with a, you know, a pencil and a big piece of paper. It's done by computer now, and all that data is crunched and it spits out this map. The interesting thing with this one, though, Teresa, and something that experts have been warning about, and something that even Democrats have been warning Republicans about, is that the data that they're relying on in this case is muddier than usual. Because the last time we did a gerrymandered, and to your point, Republicans who drew that map in 2021 here in Texas were there in court repeatedly defending those maps, which again, the lawsuits were filed on those, saying that those maps should be thrown out. And Republicans who drew the maps said over and over again, race was not even a consideration in this. But then, you know, the governor relied upon the Justice Department memo saying these need to be redrawn because of race, to say, hey, put this on the special session agenda. So there's kind of both.
It's always the music. Listen, y'all, I'm gonna move past this because it's so late. But listen, Mel Gibson says, I want to announce that he will be releasing his uncensored documentary titled Pedalwood. The Pedalwood documentary exposes Hollywood child trafficking ring, satanic sacrifices, baby blood drinking, and much more evidence that could destroy Hollywood. Can y'all believe this? Can y'all believe this? Mel Gibson, Pedalwood documentary, Hollywood child trafficking ring, satanic sacrifices, baby blood drinking, and much more evidence. Y'all, this is about to get ugly. But shout out to Mel Gibson for trying to bring it forward. Hi, Dennis. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay, let me get to what's next. Hold on. Cut the music off. Okay, I parked that. Let me get back over here. Oh, this is just horrible. It's just horrible. You know, I just didn't realize the babies. Oh. It was 600 million fortune. I even, the butler, I just gotta find where I have it. The butler talking.
Seeing this video, my Democratic colleagues and I...
Hold on. This is the wild stuff, y'all. And I am really surprised that no one has made good on that bounty on his head. I'm gonna be honest. I'm shocked no one has you know.
Redistricting power grab.
Legislators in session, that 2/3 threshold to pass the Texas gerrymander that Republicans are advancing right now. Those Texas Democrats are being fined $500 per legislator per day, but clearly that's a price that they're willing to pay if it means they can deprive Republicans of the ability to outright rig the state's maps in deference to Donald Trump's demands. Here's James Tallarico explaining the news.
This is State Representative James Tallarico from Texas. If you're seeing this video, my Democratic colleagues and I have just left our beloved state to break quorum and stop Trump's redistricting power grab. Trump told our Republican colleagues to redraw the political maps here in Texas in the middle of the decade to get him 5 more seats and protect his majority in Congress. They're turning our districts into crazy shapes to guarantee the outcome they want in the 2026 elections. If this power grab succeeds, they will hang on to power without any accountability from the voters. But Texas Democrats are fighting back. We're leaving the state, breaking quorum, and preventing Republicans from silencing our voices and rigging the next election. We are not fighting for the Democratic Party. We are fighting for the democratic process, and the stakes could not be higher. We have to take a stand.
And I should note that I'll be interviewing James Tallarico tonight, so if you'd like to see that interview and support my work more broadly, please subscribe to this channel. The reality is that Republicans have fully given up on democracy. They don't want to live in a constitutional republic, they want a dictatorship. They want full control. If they can't get it via the voters, they're going to redraw the maps to give themselves a permanent majority regardless of what the voters want. A mid-cycle redistricting where they steal 5 seats is the nuclear option, and they are using it. We need to fight back like we are in a war, because we are. This quorum break is the only correct move here. And let's be perfectly clear, the Democrats didn't start this. The Republicans have been gerrymandering themselves into majorities in states across the country for years. Wisconsin, Ohio, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Utah, Florida, Louisiana. And meanwhile, what did the Democrats do? Created independent redistricting commissions in our biggest Democratic strongholds like New York and California. The time for unilateral disarmament is over. The time for allowing Republicans to run roughshod over this country is over. We need every single Democratic governor to look right now, today, into what they can do to maximize control. The Democrats, again, did not start this, but we should 100% be willing to finish it. In California, we need a 52-0 gerrymander. In Illinois, we need to redraw the lines so that there's 0 Republican representation. In Maryland, that 7-1 map needs to be an 8-0 map. New York has to figure out what it can do to get their maps redrawn as fast as possible. We cannot sit idly by while the Republicans lead us full tilt into authoritarianism and do nothing. Is this a race to the bottom? Absolutely. But we didn't start it, and the last thing on earth that we should do is allow them to end this democratic experiment because we're gonna roll over. In fact, not only should we mount a strong defense, we need to go on offense. If Republicans want 5 seats, we need to take 30, as Mark Elias explained here.
Look, Republicans don't care about democracy. You know, Republicans support Donald Trump because he's an authoritarian. And they will abuse every norm. They will violate every tradition. They will seek to weaponize every law, every practice, everything that they can in order to gain power for the sake of having power. And they are not going to be deterred from doing that if they, you know, turn a grotesque map into an obscene map in Texas and our response is, okay, well, we found, you know, 4 or 5 seats of our own.
Ladies, listen up. The video showing the pink salt trick that melts belly fat while you sleep has already passed.
They will take that as a win, right? Because they've done what they want, and then, as you say, they will move on to Missouri. They'll move on to Florida. They'll move on to Ohio. They will move on to Utah. They will move on to, you know, wherever will be their next place. And they will not be deterred. What we need to do is we need to recognize that if we want to stop the slide of democracy, we as Democrats, we as people in the pro-democracy movement need to tell them that if they take 5 seats, we're going to put 30 seats on the table, right? Because they need to understand that there will not just be parity if things go against them, but actually if they guess wrong and this winds up escalating, they could wind up on the severe losing side. So when people say to me, you know, don't bring a knife to a gunfight, I don't even want to bring a gun to a gunfight. You know, I want to bring something more than a gun to the gunfight, right? I want to bring missiles to the gunfight. I want to bring hand grenades to the gunfight because I want the other side to understand that not only are we going to fight as hard as them, but we are going to fight smarter than them.
That's how we need to fight. We need to show them that touching the stove means you get burned. In fact, I spoke with the governors of California, Illinois, New York, and Maryland and pushed them all to take on this fight. Here's what that looked like.
We can, in essence, likely neuter the total number of districts that Trump is looking to get with Abbott and rigging those maps here in the state of California. Hope other governors consider doing similar things. You've got to fight fire with fire. This is an existential moment. We have agency. We can act superior. We can act holier than thou and watch the last half century wiped out in real time. I think we need to be held to a higher level of accountability and meet this moment and lean in on this and get tough.
From your vantage, in terms of what you're able to do in Illinois, are you willing to fight fire with fire here and respond in a commensurate way if indeed we see Greg Abbott engage in a partisan gerrymander in Texas?
Well, I appreciate the question. I'll begin my answer by saying I've been on Team Fight since I first got elected in 2018. I really believe, you know, we have to make choices right now about whether you're going to be on Team Fight or Team Cave. And the Republicans are using frankly, everything, whether it's cheating, breaking the law, you know, trying to do things that I think are non-traditional. And we Democrats can't live by the old rules. We've got to live by the rules, but we've also got to react and fight. And so when I think about what they're trying to do in Texas, and by the way, they're also trying to do it next door to me here in Missouri, next to Illinois, and other places, I think, you know, historically that's, you know, midstream redistricting was not something that we Democrats would do. But if they force us, we've got to put everything on the table. We've got to make decisions that maybe we wouldn't have made before. And so that's why I'm on the team here. I think that governors across the country that have the ability, maybe it's the ones where we've got trifectas, we've got to do everything we can to stand up to what Donald Trump and Greg Abbott are trying to do. I'm not going to countenance anymore the idea that we're going to sit around and watch them do it and complain from the sidelines when we have the ability to stop them.
And so, I mean, you know, we're kind of in the world of hypotheticals, but the reality is that the special legislative session was already called in Texas. They are meeting right now in Texas. There's no indication, at least as of right now, that they're stepping back. And so if Greg Abbott continues on exactly the path that we're in right now, would it be fair to say, to the extent that you can say definitively, that you would be willing to fight fire with fire and look toward calling, I don't know what the process would be in Illinois, but calling a legislative session to do exactly what they're doing in Texas, and what Gavin Newsom has said that he'd be willing to do in California?
Yeah, like I said, everything's on the table. It's why I've spoken up about it. It's why I met with the Texas legislators. You know, they walked in the door, and I know that they were here in Chicago to convince me. But before they opened their mouths, I said, you had me at hello.
I will use every power I have.
I'm going to let you in on the best time of year to save money. It's all year. But I also want to treat my...
to push back against this blatant abuse of power. It has gone on too far, as you said. You know, we have a strong advocacy group of good government people in our state. They want independent redistricting. They want all this. It is, you know, it's an ideal world. But when we have our combatants, the other side, you know, cheating, rigging the system, like, we can't sit on the sidelines. So I'm saying I will do what I can, partially looking at our Constitution, because unlike other states' Constitution, let me just say this, I think California does not have the same constraints that I have with my Constitution. Mine says I cannot do anything for 10 years. Now, knowing that, guess what I'm planning to do? Push the legislature to change our Constitution. It takes 2 cycles of Congress. We'd have to pass in 2026, again in 2027, go on the ballot in the fall of 2027. But the earliest we could see a change would be for 2028. But I'll tell you why that's better than the status quo. Otherwise, we can't do anything until 2032. So I'll take 4 years ahead of the time. I wish I could do more for 2026, but our hands are tied with how we have to use the process to amend the Constitution. But I was sick and tired of this. They abuse us. We sit on the sidelines as a party, and I'm all about fighting back, and fighting back hard, and making them regret that they even tried to do this.
We are done with this mentality of being a place in a state or a party of no and slow, that we need to be a party of yes and now.
Yeah.
That you have to understand what is happening to our people right now. That there are over 250,000 people who are about to have their health care cut because of the speed that this administration is moving at. That we are about to have over $250 million in Maryland alone that's about to be cut from our rural hospitals because of the speed that the Trump administration is moving at.
Yeah.
My point is this, is that we do not have time to have multi-year analysis. We do not have time to have multi-year studies. We do not have time for this right now. We've got to start thinking about this and being a party of not no and slow, but yes and now. And especially when you're looking at the speed that this Trump administration is trying to dismantle a democratic system that's taking place within our states, about thinking about what does the representation of the House of Representatives and the Senate actually look like. And so again, I just think people should, examine the speed in how we are thinking about this in the state of Maryland.
And I will continue to push governors to be as aggressive here as possible. Insofar as I have any influence at all, this will be my principal focus. And luckily, it looks like the broader party is fully on board. Here's Hakeem Jeffries speaking on behalf of the House Democrats today.
We have to make clear to the people of Texas what's taking place, because it's unacceptable, unconscionable, and un-American. And as elected officials, we have that responsibility. That's not something we can just brush aside. There are 50 states in America. I'm here in Texas for a reason. Because these legislators are standing up. These members of Congress are standing up and communicating to the people of Texas what's occurring right now in the middle of the summer at a special session. And we will make clear that we're going to do everything possible to support the Texas legislators as they consider the best ways to push back. It's an all hands on deck moment, and all options should be on the table to protect the people of Texas. But Texas Democrats, are going to be the ones to decide that. We will fight them politically. We will fight them governmentally. We will fight them in court. We will fight them in terms of winning the hearts and minds of the people of Texas and beyond. The Texas Democrats are going to show up and stand up and speak up for what's right for the people of Texas. And they're showing courage and conviction and character in doing that. And we'll see what happens over the next few days, over the next few weeks. But the one thing I know is clear, that Texas Democrats are fighting for the people.
We need to be a united front, and we need buy-in from every governor in every blue state, every legislature, every congressional delegation, every senator, and every voter. To be perfectly frank, I am tired of the long-standing impotence of the Democratic Party, and I know that you are too. Now is the time to either fight back or make way for someone else who will. And I mean that. Too much is on the line here to allow these MAGA Republicans to continue to strip this country for parts. Donald Trump may be infatuated with dictatorships across the world, but over my dead body will he turn the United States of America into one too.
Ooh, okay. One more before I go. If you got to cheat to win. Oh, well, we already know he's a loser. And he a pedo. And he a thief. Before I forget, I'm going to talk about it later. Excuse me. Diddy, new case is coming. I guess pre-trial, October 17th. This time it's including KK. His Giselle Maxwell, the 18th. Now that's, I think his sentencing is the 8th or the 3rd, and this why Diddy trying to get out. That's why he and Trump said, nah, a girl writing letters. They're trying to make it happen. Again, I'm gonna be honest. If they let him out or accept a bond from him, I think he gonna flee the country, or he gonna pull a Epstein. I really don't think that he is going to. Yeah, I just don't. So let me play this last one before I go. I want to tell, oh yeah, and Trump went in on Charlamagne the Guys. Oh my God. I really wanted to play that. But I need to play this. Oh, before I pass out sleep. Hold on. This is Epstein's worker. I wonder, has he testified? But I don't want to lose it. I got the other one pinned. Let's go. Hold on. Yeah. What's his name? What's the guy name? Dang, what's the man? I know I'm sleeping. Never mind. The one who's finna sue Diddy. I can't think. Little Rod. Hold on. Let me get to, oh boy, worker. Trump and his girlfriend.
That's bollocks.
Oh, that's Epstein's girlfriend. He got a wife who don't want to be wifing.
True crime recaps. Every Sunday and Wednesday, we're here recapping crimes in half the time so you can get caught up without being sucked in. And when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, there is no end to the rabbit hole you can go down. Every day, it seems some new awful detail comes out about this case that just makes my jaw drop.
Mine
Today,
too.
you're going to hear a few of the most jaw-dropping confessions from Epstein's pilots, his butler, the chef, and those people unlucky enough to find their way onto his private island. The Lolita Express That's what those in the know called Epstein's infamous Boeing 727. Now, according to reports, it was packed for his pleasure. The floors were padded. It was stocked with monogrammed tissues, wet wipes, and bottles of baby lotion. It could hold up to 29 passengers. Some of the more well-known people to fly its friendly skies include Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, and Naomi Campbell. But of course, none of them say they knew anything about any underage girls. Prosecutors allege the plane was used to hold up to 29 passengers. Some of the more well-known people to fly its friendly skies include Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, and Naomi Campbell. But of course, none of them say they knew anything about any underage girls. Prosecutors allege the plane was used to fly sex trafficking victims between his mansions in New York, New Mexico, Paris, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Palm Beach. Surprisingly, one of Epstein's longtime pilots, his chief pilot, admits he did know there were minors on board, but he insists he didn't know what was happening to them while he was in the cockpit. And back in 2009, one of Epstein's longtime pilots, his chief pilot, admits he did know there were minors on board, but he insists he didn't know what was happening to them while he was in the cockpit. And back in 2009, Epstein's other pilot, his second in command, testified that he saw Epstein, Prince Andrew, and a 17-year-old Virginia Roberts flying to Epstein's private island. It's also been revealed that Bill Clinton earned quite a few more frequent flyer points than was previously reported. It was known that he'd taken 11 trips on the private jet, but according to new records found by FoxNews.com, that number is actually closer to 26.
Hey, have you ever been told
5 of those may have been without a Secret Service detail. But the 2009 flight logs, as detailed and incriminating as they were, those didn't even include flights piloted by his chief pilot, according to what the victim's lawyers told the Mirror. That guy flew Epstein around the world for 20 years, so you know he has seen some shit. The U.S. Virgin Islands Attorney General, Denise George, yeah, she knows that too. In mid-September, she sued Epstein's estate, saying the Lolita Express was piloted by his chief pilot, according to what the victim's lawyers told the Mirror. That guy flew Epstein around the world for 20 years, so you know he has seen some shit. The U.S. Virgin Islands Attorney General, Denise George, yeah, she knows that too. In mid-September, she sued Epstein's estate, saying the Lolita Express was a critical part of Epstein's sex trafficking ring, and it led to 22 counts of aggravated rape, child abuse, neglect, human trafficking, forced labor, and prostitution on the island he owned. To support those allegations, she subpoenaed flight logs from Jet Aviation Holdings from 1998 until Epstein's suicide in 2019. And here's the request that's really sparking panic. She wants all complaints or reports of potentially suspicious conduct and any personal notes written by the pilots, plus names and contact information for all of those who interacted with or observed Epstein or any passengers connected to him. That's according to the Mirror. This new subpoena will get logs from that chief pilot, and those will make the documents provided by the second in command look like a post-it note. There is a panic among many of the rich and famous, says an unnamed legal source interviewed by the Mirror. Today, the infamous Lolita Express, it's abandoned beside a runway in Georgia. The carpet, bedding, furniture, appliances, and wet wipes are molding inside. The owner of the ramp it's sitting on said this to the Daily Mail. As a father of 2 daughters, I'm not real thrilled with having it here, but I guess an airplane is just an airplane. Somebody needs to come and do something with it, or it needs to be scrapped because it's just going to sit here and keep deteriorating. Welcome to Epstein's Island.
Hold on. Did y'all hear baby? Wait a minute. What did I hear? Hold on. I was falling asleep, but I heard something. Hold on.
Many of the rich and famous.
Did it have some of the same stuff Diddy be having?
Second in command look like a post-it note. There is a panic among many of the rich and famous, says an unnamed legal source interviewed by the Mirror. Today, the infamous Lolita Express, it's abandoned beside a runway in Georgia. The carpet, bedding, furniture, appliances, and wet wipes are molding inside.
Wet wipes.
The owner of the ramp it's sitting on said this to the Daily Mail. As a father of 2 daughters, I'm not real thrilled with having it here, but I guess an airplane is just an airplane. Somebody needs to come and do something with it, or it needs to be scrapped because it's just going to sit here and keep deteriorating. Welcome to Epstein's Island. This 75-acre private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands is known by a few other less pleasant names. Pedophile Island, Orgy Island, Sin Island. It's so isolated there's only 2 ways on and off, helicopter or a boat. And if you were one of the unlucky little girls to find yourself there, you couldn't even call for help. Epstein had his own cell network installed so he could monitor communications,
Isn't this awful?
even shutting it down and cutting you off completely if he wanted to. One victim tried to swim off the island. She claimed she'd been raped 3 times a day for 5 months. She said a shark would have been my best friend at this point. I didn't even think about it. It was just get me away. But his security team caught her immediately, which led to her believing that she's probably being monitored 24 hours a day, which is right in line with what Virginia Roberts has said about the cameras in his other houses, monitoring the bathrooms, the bedrooms, the toilets, the showers, literally everything. The entire operation was a blackmail scheme. And there's no reason to suspect that the island was any different. It had a main house, 3 guest cottages, a caretaker's cottage, a helipad, a dock, and over 70 employees. Every single one of them paid to stay quiet about what went on there. Get this, alongside the normal buildings you might expect, the island has a lot of stranger features. There's an underground movie theater he could get to from his
Listen
living
to
room.
this, y'all.
Gone Wild was a favorite. There was a separate library with 90,000 books, a Japanese bathhouse, God, if that thing could talk, secluded outdoor massage tables, and a bizarre temple that no one has said what exactly it was used for. Although, yeah, there have been a few guesses, and I'm sure you've got a theory. I know I do. According to Insider.com, a piano tuner was in the building and thought it must be a music room because Epstein was a classically trained pianist. Other staff thought it might be a recording studio because it had soundproof walls. Horrifying. But then why is it so far away from all the other buildings? According to the builder, it locks from the outside, not the inside. It's a very disturbing feature, don't you agree? Because that means people can't get in unless they have a key, but people also can't get out. Then 2 guys from wearechange.org snuck onto the island to get a better look.
The door is painted on. And I have to say about the temple, you know, he was a billionaire. I say was, he's probably still alive, but he is or was a billionaire. That seemed like the cheapest little temple I've ever seen. Like, why would you just paint it? Like, I could have built that myself for about $5,000, I think. And the dome flew off, and there was no hole underneath the dome, which is what you would have if you had a true dome. So it almost looked like a Hollywood set. Actually, that's exactly what it looked like.
Yeah, and it's important to note that the dome flew off during a recent hurricane here. So the situation here has definitely been changing. The most interesting things that I personally found were these like little satanic gargoyles with horns on their heads that were all over the property that were very creepy. I also found a chair that was completely made out of horns and looked like some during a recent hurricane here. So the situation here has definitely been changing. The most interesting things that I personally found were these like little satanic gargoyles with horns on their heads that were all over the property that were very creepy. I also found a chair that was completely made out of horns and looked like some kind of animal hide that was very creepy and kind of very weird to look at.
And as if it couldn't get any weirder, along with all the creepy statues on the island, there are sculptures of life-size cows. And the staff were ordered to move them to new random places every day.
Okay, big news. True Crime Recaps is taking it to the next level. We are...
2017, Epstein paid $17 million to buy the nearest island. It's called Greater St. James. He said he was planning to build another...
horns on their heads that were all over the property that were very creepy. I also found a chair that was completely made out of horns and looked like some kind of animal hide that was very creepy and kind of very weird to look at.
And as if it couldn't get any weirder, Along with all the creepy statues on the island, there are sculptures of life-size cows, and the staff were ordered to move them to new random places every day. In 2017, Epstein paid $17 million to buy the nearest island. It's called Greater St. James. He said he was planning to build another compound there, which, he probably was. But insiders say he bought the island to keep Little St. James even more secluded and private. Authorities couldn't use Greater St. James to spy on him if he owned it, and his victims couldn't try swimming there to escape. Horrifying. Attorney General Denise George filed lawsuits trying to seize both islands and other assets, saying that the island was the main headquarters, if you will, for an international sex trafficking scheme. According to the complaint, between 2001 and 2019, Epstein landed his private jet on the main islands and then took a private helicopter or boat to his island. Airport workers say they often saw him surrounded by girls, some that looked as young as 11. Many of them often dressed to look like flight attendants or, flight crew to disguise them. But he was a generous tipper, which helped convince a lot of people to stay quiet. It's shocking, and also, not shocking, what he was able to get away with. And remember, Epstein was a registered sex offender in Florida, but he was still free to fly anywhere, live where he wanted. He had multiple passports, some under different names. According to BuzzFeed, Epstein renewed his sex offender registration with the Virgin Islands government every year, but authorities couldn't really check in on him. The article says that at his last verification in July 2018, he allegedly refused to permit investigators and U.S. Marshals to get past the dock because he claimed that was his front door. Epstein trusted his butler to keep his secrets for 15 years. But you know what they say, two can keep a secret if one of them is dead. On August 10th, 2019, Epstein, the biggest secret keeper of them all, suddenly ended up committing suicide. So I can't say it without rolling my eyes. And his butler has plenty to share. In an interview with The Mirror, he claims Prince Andrew was a regular guest at Epstein's Palm Beach House of Sin, and he absolutely got daily massages from Epstein's underage harem, as the New York Post called them. The butler wasn't just an eyewitness, but he says he personally set up Andrew's massage tables, and he agrees with the FBI that the prince needs to stop trying to deny it and start talking. He said, quote, "Maybe he has something to hide. I don't know. Prince Andrew's people says, of course the prince got daily massages. It's a luxury. Yeah, who doesn't love a daily massage?
But you were staying at the house of a convicted sex offender.
It was a convenient place to stay. And I admit fully that my judgment was probably coloured by my tendency to be too honourable.
Okay. And your strengths?
But that definitely wasn't you getting a foot massage from a Russian girl in Jeffrey Epstein's house.
No thanks.
I hope y'all can still hear.
It might seem a funny way to break off a friendship.
Can y'all still hear?
Yes. A convicted sex offender.
It was a convenient place to stay. And I admit fully that my judgment was probably coloured by my tendency to be too honourable.
Okay. And your strengths?
But that definitely wasn't you getting a foot massage from a Russian girl in Jeffrey Epstein's house.
No.
No thanks. I don't want to be part of your sex festival.
It might seem a funny way to break off a friendship. A 4-day house party of sorts with a dinner. It's an odd way to break
It's
up
a difficult way of putting it. That's a very stark way of putting it. Yes, you're absolutely right.
She was very specific about that night. She described dancing with you and you profusely sweating.
Yep, as Prince Andrew. My battery is very low, so we can only listen.
With the sweating, because
he lying.
That my judgment was probably
okay.
Epstein's Palm Beach House of Sin, and he absolutely got daily massages from Epstein's underage harem, as the New York Post called them. The butler wasn't just an eyewitness, but he says he personally set up Andrew's massage tables, and he agrees with the FBI that the prince needs to...
So the butler confirms that he was there often entertaining those minors. So all that, the pictures are lie, all that, he lying. The butler confirms it. Let's go.
And he absolutely got daily massages from Epstein's
daily
harem, as the New York Post called them. The butler wasn't just an eyewitness, but he says he personally set up Andrew's massage tables, and he agrees with the FBI that the prince needs to stop trying to deny it and start talking. He said, quote, maybe he has something to hide. I don't know. I don't know. Prince Andrew's people says, of course the prince got daily massages. It's a luxury. Yeah. Who doesn't love a daily massage?
You were staying at the house of a convicted sex offender.
So he stayed with him.
To stay. And I admit fully that my judgment was probably coloured by my tendency to be too honourable.
Okay. And your strengths? But that definitely wasn't you getting a foot massage from a Russian girl in Jeffrey Epstein's house.
No.
No thanks. I don't want to be part of your sex.
Too honourable.
It might seem a funny way to break off a friendship. A 4-day house party of sorts with a dinner. It's an odd way to break up a friendship.
It's a difficult way of putting it. That's a very stark way of putting it. Yes, you're absolutely right.
She was very specific about that night. She described dancing with you and you profusely sweating, and that she...
Listen to this bull crap. Oh my God.
There's a slight problem with the sweating because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat.
That's bollocks. No,
or I didn't sweat at the time, and that was... Oh, actually, yes. I didn't sweat at the time because I had suffered what I would describe as an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War when I was shot at.
Can you hear? Can y'all believe this fool? He said he can't sweat.
Before you go, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more,
I hear. What I hear?
Subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button is right here.
I'm sorry. You hear this fool talking about he can't sweat?
Peculiar.
I don't want to be part of your sex festival.
It might seem a funny way to break off a friendship. A 4-day
he can't sweat
party of sorts with a dinner. It's an odd way to break up a friendship.
I can stutter my ass off, but I can't sweat.
That's a stark way of putting it. Yes, you're absolutely right.
She was very specific about that night. She described dancing with you and you profusely sweating, and that she went on to have possibly...
There's a slight problem with the sweating because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat.
That's bollocks. No,
or I didn't sweat at the time, and that was... Oh, actually, yes. I didn't sweat at the time because I had suffered what I would describe...
Hold on. Oh, I wish y'all could see it. They showed a picture with sweat up under his arms. His shirt was sweaty.
With the sweating, because...
Oh, I can't even show it to y'all. Hold on. Let me... Hold on. I got... Hold on.
Which is that I don't sweat.
That's bollocks. No,
or I didn't sweat at the time, and that was... Oh, actually, yes. I didn't sweat at the time because...
Okay. Dang it, y'all can't see it. Can y'all see that sweat up? I can't get no closer. He got sweat up under his arms. He's a liar. You was sweating in, and you swapped your sweating for stuttering. Oh.
Sweat.
That's bollocks. No,
or I didn't sweat at the time, and that was... Oh, actually, yes. I didn't sweat at the time because I had suffered what I would describe as an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War when I was shot at. and I simply
stop. Oh my God.
She provided a photo of the two of you together.
Oh my God.
Your arm was around her waist.
Yes.
You've seen the photo.
I've seen the photograph.
How do you explain that?
I can't.
According to the butler, Prince
No, you just
really
won't.
liked daily massages. He spent weeks as a guest in the Palm Beach house, which, as the butler described it, had pictures of young, naked girls, objects.
Well, I guess while he was getting the massages by them babies, it gave him, it healed his sweating condition. Because he was sweating down, funky, armpits and shit. Lying ass.
And claims he was the one that had to clean up after her. As he told the New
Oh,
York
he said
Post,
she was, hold on. Here go another person confirming that she was worked bad. But Trump let her out.
She provided a photo.
I know he lying.
Yes.
Your arm was around her waist.
Yes.
You've seen the photo.
I've seen the photograph.
How do you explain that?
I can't.
According to the butler, Prince Andrew really liked daily massages. He spent weeks as a guest in the Palm Beach house, which, as the butler described it, had pictures of young, naked girls, objects, and ornaments all over the house. He also describes Ghislaine as the devil and claims he was the one that had to clean up after her.
So I wonder, was she the devil worshiper?
I find sex toys in her sink. I took it as a perversion, not an abuse. I used to put my gloves on and pick it up and wash it. Ghislaine knows more than anyone. Whole days.
Some of this stuff just sounds a lot like Diddy. So I'm hearing his assistants having to clean up behind his nasty ass and shit all over the wall. I mean, well, not, you know, I'm talking about all and blood and all that type of crazy stuff. So here he go talking about Ghislaine Maxwell was the devil. And they got all this stuff all over the yard and sacrifices and shit. And she got toys, sex toys all in her sink. Ugh, oh, gross.
He also describes Ghislaine as the devil and claims he was the one that had to clean up after her. As he told the New York Post, I'd find sex toys in her sink. I took it as a perversion, not an abuse. I used to put my gloves on and pick it up and wash it. Ghislaine knows more than anyone. Whole days she spent recruiting girls. I was driving. I wish I had known what for. I would stop at a massage parlor and she would go in and take business cards. One time she had me drive to Mar-a-Lago looking for girls, and that's when she found
Mar-a-Lago.
That is Virginia Roberts Giuffre, one of Epstein and Ghislaine's most vocal accusers. According to the housekeeper, Ghislaine often said she hated Epstein, but couldn't or wouldn't leave him. Now check out the recap Chris did on Ghislaine's father and tell us if you think her daddy issues kept her with Jeffrey. Now the butler says he was also the money man for the girls. As he told the New York Post, I used to go to the bank, withdraw $10,000. I'd pay them out of petty cash and fill out a receipt. I wish I'd known what they were really being paid for. This Jeffrey swore them to secrecy, threatening them if they ever told. Today, Adam Perry Lang is a celebrity chef and owner of APL. It's a Hollywood restaurant funded by Jimmy Kimmel and Joe McHale. But 20 years ago, he was cooking for Jeffrey Epstein and his guests. According to an interview she did with the podcast Broken, Seeking Justice, Virginia Giuffre says the girls were forced to stick to ridiculous, extreme diets to stay skinny and underdeveloped, like little girls. A typical
oh, wow, did y'all hear that?
Salmon with vegetables, but no carbs, ever.
Like little girls.
Ridiculous, extreme diets. According to an interview she did with the podcast Broken, Seeking Justice, Virginia Giuffre says the girls were forced to stick to ridiculous, extreme diets to stay skinny and underdeveloped, like little girls. A typical dinner was something like shaved salmon with vegetables, but no carbs, ever. And if anyone broke the rules, Ghislaine would punish them. Virginia and Chef Adam found that one out the hard way. She says she and the chef were friends and they'd have secret late-night pizza and beer parties until control freak Ghislaine caught them and they were both punished and banned from communicating after that. Adam is being named in court documents because he was a regular passenger on Epstein's private jet between 2000 and 2001. I'm sure he was there cooking, and Adam says his role was limited to meal preparation. He was unaware of the depraved behavior and has great sympathy and admiration for the brave women who have come forward. The level of debauchery we have seen in this case that...
So I bought a $500 bottle of Creed Aventus because it's the world's most popular fragrance, potentially of all time. I mean, it's won by royalty. It's a masculine concoction of citrus.
Rich and powerful sense of entitlement that they have a right to use and abuse these girls, and probably boys, and that no one can or will stop them. It's infuriating. And every one of Jeffrey Epstein's workers has said they didn't know what was going on behind closed doors, and maybe they didn't. But there is one who says she did, and she found out the hard way. Maria Farmer met Ghislaine Epstein 24 years ago when she was a graduate student at the New York Academy of Art. Epstein hired her to work for him as an art consultant and painter after buying this painting she did for her thesis project. Wonder why he liked it. She's also his first accuser. I'm painting these beautiful survivors, these women.
Maria Farmer met Jeffrey Epstein and British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell in the mid-1990s when Epstein asked the 25-year-old art student to work for him.
Maria Farmer, in a lawsuit, alleges while she was working the front door at Epstein's townhouse, she started seeing things that concerned her involving Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine Maxwell would go out on these drives to procure models. She would say, these are the nubiles. I need the nubiles.
Absolutely. They're doing the same thing Diddy was doing. That's why Diddy,
simply auditioning young girls for modeling jobs.
Yeah.
I knew something was wrong. I didn't know what was wrong.
According to her law,
same blueprint. They just doing they freak neat is a little different.
I remember being in a lot of pain. I remember having some bruises. They didn't get
And
my
see,
clothes off.
this is why people don't recognize the pimping that Diddy was doing, the trafficking, because it's more satanic. It's more of a sacrifice, and it's more pimpish to me. But it's just not the normal pimping. It's just like these elite people. They're not pimping for money. they pimping for fetish, for their addiction. You're welcome, Lisa. And so that's why people, especially a lot of us, was like, oh, no, did that, now, he, I mean, but they have no idea how deep this shit is. And if they think Diddy is not involved, they in for a rude awakening. They're in for a rude awakening. And then when we tapped into that MK Ultra stuff, the brainwashing, the mind slavery type shit that they all got going on, yes, it. But did he know he's involved? He absolutely was a student. He bought into it. It's just the sky's different. But he's involved. Absolutely.
I tried. The way I'd been treated made it very clear to me. There is something else going on.
Farmer says she was so alarmed that she reported Epstein and Maxwell to the FBI.
If the FBI had listened to me in 1996, there would have been no more victims.
But if you ask Virginia, everybody who went into Jeffrey's houses knew what was going on. You couldn't.
1996.
Farmer says her experience with Maxwell and Epstein took a dark turn when they sexually assaulted her.
I remember being in a lot of pain. I remember having some bruises. They didn't get my clothes off. They tried. The way I'd been treated made it very clear to me. There is something else going on.
Farmer says she was so alarmed that she reported Epstein and Maxwell to the FBI.
If the FBI had listened to me in 1996, there would have been no more victims.
But if you ask Virginia, everybody who went into Jeffrey's houses knew what was going on. You couldn't even be a pizza delivery boy and walk into one of his places and not know what was going on. There were naked pictures everywhere, young girls everywhere.
What do you mean you was sent to market, Lisa?
Podcast reporter Julie K. Brown. Old dude, not married. It's not too hard to put two and two together. Thanks for letting me catch you up on this. You like getting all the crime in half the time?
Yeah, but I think they both got something on Trump. But he's not concerned about Diddy like he concerned about her. Because she also knows about money laundering. She also knows about a lot of stuff. I don't know if she has videos. See, Diddy got videos. Diddy got videos. He's a recorder. Excuse me. I don't know if she has tapes of Trump. Okay, yeah, I'm finna fall out. Okay, I'll see y'all later. I'm sorry. Let me see what. Hold on. Now, if I go silent, y'all know I'm asleep. Just hang up. But I'm trying to hear what old boy talking about with It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I know I ate some fruit and stuff. I was wide awake too late. Let's hear what he's saying. Now, if I fall asleep, just hang up.
Him in the comments, man, got a mic check. 1 2 1 2. Make sure this mic is right. I'm gonna let y'all.
It's about Diddy and Little Rod. I'm trying to hear what I done missed.
In the word of this DPA, but don't trust anybody because you, Sean Diddy Combs, turned your back on him when you said he should be erratic. X, weight loss formula link, sister, X, weight loss.
Only one.
Everything else I can think of, link to our other YouTube channel, all the links in the description box.
Only one on the left coast.
Y'all can hear me?
I don't know what that means, Epstein.
Okay, y'all can hear me? All right, man, look. Let me start at this right quick. If you ain't got a job, sister, you need to get a J0P.
He talking about,
You need to get a J0P if you ain't got no job.
Let me see.
Sister Gina?
Sister Gina?
Oh, Sister Gina. You need to get a J0P if you ain't got no job. Because you writing a letter after all those things you said. And the fact that you gave statements, ma'am, to federal prosecutors, ma'am, that whole situation gonna backfire.
It sure
That's
is.
all I'm gonna say about that. J0B if you ain't got one. Right? Like all the other hard-working citizens that's out here listening, they gotta get up and go to work tomorrow. You understand what I'm saying? Sister Gina, you feel me? But let's get on to this right here, man. So when it rains, it pours, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah, and before I forget to tell y'all, I told y'all this the other day. Trump's new, he's the new United States District Attorney, and he was appointed again by Donald J. Trump in April this year. He's the new United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York. He came and broke this filing and laid the absolute smackdown on Diddy, which was a complete surprise, which has Diddy going crazy and losing his mind, as Diddy could not believe that Donald Trump's own man would come out and go against him. But once again, you have to remember, Diddy, if the left one don't get you, the right one will. Because Donald Trump is like the rattlesnake Stone Cold Steve Austin himself. And the words are this, DTA, buddy. Don't trust anybody. Because you, Sean Diddy Combs, turned your back on him when you said he should be eradicated. So all he's doing is returning the favor to you. And when you thought he was going to bail you out, he looked at you and gave you the proverbial 2 middle fingers, kicked you in the stomach and hit you with a stone cold stunner. And that's all I got to say about that. Now, let's move on. Jay Clayton is Donald Trump's guy. Jay Clayton not only says that Diddy should not get released. Jay Clayton says that Diddy is a flight risk. And the reason why he's a flight risk is because, and the reason why I'm telling everybody that the bail is going to get denied again is because Diddy has to show astronomical changes from his bail already getting denied for a judge to overturn it. There is no astronomical changes he's shown. The man brought Gina and got Gina out here, who was supposed to testify for the government.
He look like Chucky.
To the government, testifying against Diddy, but turn around, she could end up going to prison for giving false statements.
Either she gave a false statement first, or she giving one now.
It's funny how she was nowhere to be found during the trial.
Right.
The trial's over with TMZ finding her in a parking lot somewhere at a grocery store.
In Vegas.
Who knew what I think it was BMW, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Either she lying now,
Sister Junior was out there just casually
or she was lying then.
asked her, hey, Gina, do you think Diddy's a danger? No, I don't think he's a danger. I think he'll be all right. I'm not that scared.
Yeah, that's what she thought he was coming home.
That ain't what you said to them federal authorities.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you right now, girl.
That's a problem.
Y'all playing, y'all think it's a game. But
That's a problem.
Saw in his paperwork, and this is what made Diddy go crazy, y'all. And yes, I got some new news for y'all tonight. Just wait for it. Let me cook. Let me do what I do.
Yeah, I'm sitting it down.
And this is what's picking Diddy off. Bad. He's heated about this shit. You can feel it boiling through his blood. That's why he's panicking right now.
Oh, he definitely panicking.
Donald Trump sent his new guy, and his new guy is playing a smackdown. He says that they're looking for substantially higher than 5.5 years prison sentence for Sean Diddy Combs. Substantially higher. And what people have to understand, and I keep telling people this in the comment section, but y'all need to understand the law, and you will know the law if you read it. The judge does not have to go by the sentencing guidelines. The only thing the judge has to do is go between 0 and 20 years. 10 on each count. Diddy got 2 counts. The judge can give him 20 years max. He can give him 2 for 10 and then run it back to back.
Yeah.
And give him 20. And it's all on the judge.
Well, they definitely not planning on him getting out no time soon. He will not be out for Thanksgiving.
Lawyers can recommend something.
Unless he gets a pardon.
At the end of the day, the judge can use everything to determine what's going on. And here's the thing about the judge. The judge not only can determine and use everything that he wants to use, even because see, Diddy's lawyers, they must not have a brain. Because they keep screaming, oh, he was acquitted of that, acquitted of that. Mr. Diddy legal team. The law says that Judge Submarinian, sir, he can still use things that Diddy was acquitted for and his sentencing against Sean Diddy Combs. Let me read that again. See, Judge Submarinian has wide latitude to consider factors beyond guidelines. The guidelines, right? Beyond the guidelines. Such as Diddy's character.
Who you, Brian, who you think going to jail? You talking about Gina?
And let me tell you something. Diddy's going to snap. Because Diddy's lawyers did it. They cannot appeal. And this is why Diddy and them losing their mind. They can't appeal any of this. Because Diddy's lawyers, to get off the sex trafficking, to get off of the RICO, they went in court and said, oh, no. We admit to the violence.
Right.
A very violent man. Case closed. Your own legal team said that. Now the fact that your own legal team said that, the judge can go out here and goddamn gonna ring it up on your ass. Point blank period. The judge has done everything meticulously.
Yeah, but people think that they can do things. Oh man, it ain't good. They can't get her.
Let me tell you something.
Because either she lied then or she lying now.
he ain't going against them. This new guy he got up there, you guys.
And why would he be talking to? Oh, he got
been rolling with him for a minute.
He got acquitted from that.
Donald
Okay.
Trump appointed Jay Clayton as the SEC chairman back in 2017. Donald Trump has a history with this guy. He not finna undercut his own guy. Let him come in here, humiliate Diddy, and then come say, "No, I'm a part of him on the last day." Not gonna happen, ladies and gentlemen.
No, that man Clayton told Trump.
But Donald Trump has too many people that surround him that don't like Diddy at all. Don't have any
Sacrifice his
Let me
ass.
say this: Diddy has a problem.
She did lie. And she didn't show up to the subpoena.
And Diddy's gonna have to get the right candidate in office in the next
So it was dumb of her to even send that letter to the judge.
Because if the Republicans stay in office, man, ain't no way in hell that boy getting out. And let me tell y'all something. All y'all was sitting here riding smooth early. Ain't gonna be riding smooth late. Now, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, as I come before you, being the great one, the man, the myth, the legend that I am, I come to all the Diddyites and all the Diddy lovers.
The Diddyites.
And with a bearer, I come bearing, what's the opposite of gifts? I come bearing ass whoopings for all the Diddyites. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you that Sean Diddy Combs has a new problem, ladies and gentlemen. See, I
He
always
ain't
you guys,
going nowhere.
don't get you. If the left one don't get you.
Don't wear these perfumes if you don't like compliments. Everyone has been talking about all of these perfumes, but honestly,
left one don't get you.
Excuse me.
Maybe the right one will.
Yeah.
If the left one don't get you, the right one will.
And he got my Aunt Florida coming. Shit.
Let me put a little nugget that I told y'all yesterday and the day before. When Donald Trump
And dumb girl, Gina, why you so slow? You're not even his girlfriend. Why Young Miami didn't send the letter? Why would she be the one to send the letter? See, he's just slow. You threw the case when you didn't show up because they built part of the case around your testimony, your interview. You refused to show up. Then you have the nerve. Then you popped up at the end when you thought he was going home. Now that Trump done said, wrong answer. Remember what you said, player? Hold that. Eat that. Yeah, but don't drop the salt, though. Yeah. Now you want... Why would his most recent girlfriend not send a letter to the judge? Why would your dumb ass be the one to send it? But carry on, because I'm carry on.
On the right-hand side of your screen. When he put this filing in the other day, on the 31st, he redacted that part that's blacked out. He blacked that part out. The judge specifically asked him, because the judge saw the part that's blacked out. The judge said, hey,
Because he know the judge can use some against him.
let that part hang. I mean, you have pseudonyms for names anyways. Why not release that? The judge is smarter than what you think. See, I think that the judge knows what's going on.
The judge do know what's going on.
The judge wants to unleash all that information.
All Maureen Comey had to do was send a letter to the judge to fill the judge in on everything that's going on.
When it's time to get that
Come on now.
Everybody and their mama know what the hell is going
I really think that Maureen Comey didn't send that letter to the judge. A letter to the judge with an explanation
In fact, the judge helped Diddy out so much
of the witness, not the witness, the juror
out of the case.
who refused. The one who was deliberating, George. She probably done broke all that down. What was coming.
The judge ain't fair. The judge ain't fair. Know your role and shut your damn mouth. The judge damn near helped Diddy by leaving all of this stuff out the case. Even that on your screen. Oh, because in this case, the judge
minor victim too. They redacted. Oh, hold on. I woke up on that, didn't I? Oh, hold up. Oh, So it says minor victim 2. So this was withheld. See? And we don't know nothing. It wasn't presented. Hold on. I'm trying to get it so y'all can see it. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Minor victim number 2. Do y'all see that? So a lot of the stuff people saying that didn't even come up. Where are all the kids? Where it is? Where the. Oh yeah. Listen, he finna get it, y'all. I'm gonna tell you that now. I woke right on up at a good time. Y'all see that? Minor victim 2. He ain't going nowhere.
Mark Elias, a lawyer for the Democrats.
Oh, I hit the wrong button. Dang it. Yeah, he ain't going nowhere. Let me get back to where I was. He ain't going nowhere.
Like they did against R. Kelly. That helped R. Kelly get... Because the judge saw the part that's blacked out. The judge says, hey, why did you guys black that part out? Why not let that part hang? I mean, you have pseudonyms for names anyways. Why not release that part? The judge is smarter than what you think. See, I think that the judge knows what's going on. I think the judge wants to unleash all that information to the public. So when he later smackdown come October the 3rd on Judgment Day, when it's time to get that time, everybody and their mama know what the hell is going on. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't read, you need to read that line. And let me tell you something. The judge does not need to be disciplined because the judge helped Diddy out a long way. In fact, the judge helped Diddy out so much, the judge left all of this information out of the case.
Minors.
See how the judge's name's at the top of that list right there, Judge Submarine?
Oh my God.
See, all of these fools running around here, hey man, the judge ain't fair. The judge ain't fair. Know your role and shut your damn mouth. The judge damn near helped Diddy by leaving all of this stuff out the case. Even that on your screen. Oh, because in this case, the judge did not allow, like R. Kelly's case, they used corroborating witnesses with different testimony against Diddy like they did against R. Kelly. That helped R. Kelly get convicted. The judge, before this case, Diddy's lawyers did a great job. They got all of this thrown out.
Y'all do know Diddy is about to get...
threw this out because he
Diddy know he out of here.
Prevalent to the timeline of this case. So what the judge did was he threw all it out. See, you had a lot of people on YouTube running around here saying, hey man, why didn't they have Big Gene Deal up there testifying since he know everything? Well, because if you know your role and shut your mouth, you would understand that this case did not go into the timeline of Gene Deal when he was with Sean Diddy Combs.
Right.
Gene Deal was with Diddy in the 90s And in the first couple of years of the 2000s, this case started like in '08, '07, something like that. So this was out of his jurisdiction. There was nothing for him to testify between the time of '08, '07, and 2024 because he wasn't working for Diddy. So he wasn't going to be used in this case. Use your mind and use your brains. If that was the case, they would have brought all these other people in as witnesses and to all kind of acts and things like that. The judge marked all of these different things out. But like I tell y'all this, if the left one don't get you, if the left one does not get you, the right one will. The right one will. Because, ladies and gentlemen, as I told y'all, that part that's redacted right there is very important. Ladies and gentlemen, read that paragraph before I tell you what happened tonight. The defendant contends that he does not pose a danger because the trial record does not reflect the acts of violence by the defendant between 2018, when he ended his relationship with Cassie Ventura, in 2024, when he viciously assaulted Jane. Think, y'all. Everybody that's reading this paperwork, use your mind. Now, I want you guys to go watch the interview with Tasha K and Sister Gina. In that interview, done 6 years ago, with Tasha K and Sister Gina, Gina stated, Tasha K asked Gina a question that would be so prevalent to today. She asked Gina, when was the last time Diddy put hands on you? And Sister Gina said, in 2018. How much you want to bet it's the same thing that she told the feds right here in her testimony, as she admitted that she was victim number 3. Read the last 2 lines down there at the bottom of your screen from victim number 3 with all the parts that are blacked out. This clearly is sufficient to establish that Combs used force and coercion. Gina being taken out of that case helped destroy this case. But Gina gave statements to the feds. And when you give statements to federal agents, oh my God, when you lie to the feds, automatic potential 5-year sentence in prison for perjury. Now she comes out. But let's go back to this, because this is the part everybody got to catch. The judge asked, second paragraph, y'all, the defendant contends that he does not pose a danger, they're talking about Diddy, because the trial record does not reflect. Read the words, y'all. The trial record. You know why the record doesn't reflect this? Because Gina didn't show up to the trial. So how can you say Diddy committed abuse between 2018 and 2024 on any woman if Gina didn't show up and testify in court? But ladies and gentlemen, wait. There's more. Remember, all of the things that we didn't see, all the things that were blacked out and that were thrown out of this case, the judge saw. And I think the judge is covering his ass on this one. And I'm going to read to you why. Continuing on in the second paragraph. As an initial matter, the defendant's violent attack of Jane and his years-long proclivity toward violence against Mrs. Ventura, and read this, y'all, and others, is more than sufficient to establish his dangerousness. But the defendant's suggestion that he went, Diddy's suggestion that he went several years without inflicting violence on another person simply is not true. The defendant Diddy did engage in several acts of violence between 2018 and 2024. Who are they talking about in that black part, y'all? The judge told the government, hey, why did y'all black that out? Unblack that out. All you did was redacted names. I saw the unblacked out part. Unblack it out for all the people to see.
He didn't tell it to the government, did he? He told it to the defense.
What was blacked out?
Who blacked it out?
He put Gina's testimony there.
Mm.
Because it's quite strange that today all of a sudden, Sister Gina writes a letter begging the judge to let Diddy out, saying, oh, he's not violent. How much you want to bet? Go back and listen to that interview with Tasha K. Tasha K asked Gina a question that she didn't know that was going to be prevalent and relevant to this time today. She asked Gina, when was the last time that Diddy assaulted you? And Gina said in 2018. Read the paperwork right here. They said the defendant's suggestion that he went several years without inflicting violence on another person is simply not true. The defendant did engage in several acts, not one, y'all. They said several acts of violence between 2018 and 2024. Now, look, y'all, the judge told them they got an
Brian.
tomorrow, which means everything is going to be exposed. Is there going to be new charges coming? Is there a new case coming? I know a new case is about to come up that I'm about to tell y'all about tonight. It says, although there's evidence, read under the black part, y'all. See, everybody's running around here on YouTube, running their mouth like a bunch of Rudy Poo kids.
Put it on the super chat or super sticker. If you want my opinion like that,
I am the goddamn great one. And you
support the platform.
Although this evidence was not presented at trial, the court.
She said she was pregnant, Lisa. I walked out. Is she saying she was pregnant?
Diddy's dangerousness. I did not tell y'all that the judge can use all of this stuff to hit Diddy with the Holy Ghost. And I'm talking about the whole slab. And this is why I believe, ladies and gentlemen, and if I roll the dice and I put everything on the line, I'm willing to bet tomorrow that under that black part right there, we're going to find out that Sister Gina's name may just pop up.
She going to be in trouble.
Will make full sense.
Oh, the judge going to wear her out. He going to hold her in contempt.
Hail Mary, Sister Gina writes to court saying, oh, Judge, but he was nice. He's a good family man. All these other things now. Out of the woodworks at the last minute. I think Diddy's team knows something is coming. They already have read under that black part. It's the general public who doesn't know. But wait, ladies and gentlemen. Read under the black part. Although this evidence was not presented at trial, the court is free to consider it in assessing Diddy's dangerousness. Then they gave you this. See United States versus LaFontaine, 210.
He done something to a minor. That judge is not gonna let him. He can be 100 million.
Read this part right.
He not gonna let him out.
Recognizing that proffers. Do y'all not know what a proffer is?
They had minors.
Give an agreement where you can't be charged. That your testimony cannot be used against you in a court of law. So recognizing that proffers are permissible, both in bail determination and in bail
now she writing the judge.
Context. That means
restaurant store.
30 chairs, non-squeak.
Restaurant store.
She better say she was threatened. Because if not,
under that black part.
I'm
giving y'all education tonight.
But why hasn't Young Miami not sent that letter?
They gonna hit this nigga with the Holy Ghost. And they gonna baptize him.
So somebody forced her. She better say she was forced.
Can use those statements that was made to the federal employees. And Sister Gina, I pray to God that your name does not come up under that black part. The judge set it up hook, line, and sinker.
He sure did.
You have to tell the government to let that loose so the whole world can see. The judge is smart. He's doing it so everyone can see. When he lays the smackdown on Sean Diddy Combs, you're going to know why.
That minor.
Because Sister Gina gave statements to federal authorities.
Verifiable statements.
It's on that black part. Are we gonna find out tomorrow if that Sister Gina's statement that they're gonna use against Sean Diddy Combs, which means the statement that she gave today
is a
in
lie.
those papers would show a stark difference to what she told investigators. And it's real strange, and it's gonna look real bad to the judge. It's gonna backfire on Diddy. How this woman popped up out of the blue when she was.
Oh, she got a sugar daddy going to jail with a sugar daddy.
So favor of Diddy. Why didn't she get on the stand and testify for Diddy?
Right.
Because she knew she gave statements to the feds, and they'll tear that ass up on the stand.
And they built their case around all of them.
Diddy's lawyers.
So those missing loopholes that the state had was because of Gina.
The right one will. And tomorrow, we're gonna find out who and what they said as evidence that was not used in the trial, that can be used against Diddy legally
in sentencing.
In his bail hearing and revocation. We're gonna see what happens, and this could turn into a whole different case. But ladies and gentlemen, I come to you tonight as humbly as I know how.
He done woke me up, y'all.
On October the 17th, 2025, it's now about to get started. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. Rodney Jones and Sean P. Diddy run the city.
It's about to get ugly.
Case.
And see, I wonder is he gonna try to give up Trump? Is he gonna talk? See, but it ain't gonna work now.
After Diddy is sentenced, 14 days.
He should have left Comey alone. Yeah, but it wasn't about Comey.
And you know I got the paperwork, baby. Shout out to the docket. You already know what it is. And as you see on your screen right there, ladies and gentlemen, tried and true, etched in stone, right there, Ortiz. The only question left is on that black part, are we gonna find out tomorrow if that Sister Gina's statement that they're gonna use against Sean Diddy Combs, which means the statement that she gave today in those papers would show a stark difference to what she told investigators. And it's real strange, and it's gonna look real bad to the judge. It's gonna backfire on Diddy. How this woman popped up out of the blue when she was nowhere to be found during the trial.
So either you forced her,
ladies and gentlemen,
or she in trouble. Either way, she in trouble.
Why didn't she get on the stand and testify for Diddy?
Right.
Because she knew she gave statements to the feds, and they'll tear that ass up on the stand in cross-examination. So Diddy's lawyers,
he can still lock her up.
But as I tell you guys, and I tell you always, if the left one don't get you, the right one will. And tomorrow, we're gonna find out who and what they said as evidence that was not used in the trial, that can be used against Diddy legally.
And that's. Do Gina know that he got minors on that paperwork?
Hearing, revocation. We're gonna see what happens, and this could turn into a whole different case. But ladies and gentlemen, I come to you tonight as humbly as I know how, because this case,
yeah, he done found out that
2025,
the judge can use all of what was redacted. Everything that they argued to remove could be used against him. All of it.
Show no pity.
Everything in the discovery can be used against him.
Goes
in sentencing.
And will begin its premiere stages 2 weeks
Oh, wow.
14 days on October the 17th.
Y'all know I'm tough with them about the victims. I know y'all know I ain't finna play with no kids.
Screen right there, ladies and gentlemen. Tried and true. Etched in stone. Right there on your screen.
I've been saying he needed every bit of them. But now them kids, I thought thinking the kids wasn't gonna come up until Miami.
The fact discovery will commence 14 days after Mr. Combs' sentencing, which is scheduled to take place on October the 3rd, 2025. All fact discovery shall be completed no later than 180 days from the start.
She talking about he needs to be with his kids. What about the kids he done?
Rodney Jones' case is got put in court expeditiously in civil court, and this could turn into another criminal.
That's how it starts.
For Sean Diddy Combs, because depending on the evidence that Lil Rod Rodney Jones presents in the civil, Donald Trump's new man, Jay Clayton, in the United States Department of Justice, and the FBI.
Do y'all remember before Trump stuff came out?
You guys don't know.
Before Trump stuff came out, I kept saying, when they first brought up that pardon, I said, Trump, now, you got your own shit going on. Y'all remember me saying that before his stuff even came out? You may want to stay away from this with Diddy, because you got your own issues. I didn't realize that all of this was coming, but I knew he had his own predo issues. So it just would not be in his best interest to pardon Diddy. Now, if he do, they say he got dementia. He's the defiant type of guy. Everything that he shouldn't do, he don't listen to nobody. You know, he do his own thing. But he trusts, he said the guy he sent with Jelaine, he trusts him, and he trusts this guy right here. And yeah, no, I can't see him doing it. But he is such a brat and a temper tantrum. The minute people start saying something crazy, he'll say, I'm a pardon him, and to mess himself up. But he got his own shit. Cause right here, they still ain't tapped into Florida yet. So it would be in his best interest to back up and let Diddy, like I said, if y'all gonna sacrifice somebody, cause Diddy have dirt with him and Epstein and Jelaine. He was they dark token. Cause some of the paperwork when they was grooming and scouting or pursuing, procuring, they was told to stay away from the black girls. Yeah. So he bought the only one that appears that they let into that pyramid, because it don't sound like they fooled with R. Kelly. It seemed like it was a New York thing and a Florida thing. They all 3 or 4 have that in common. Ooh, he's about to get ugly.
What happened? Let me explain to you what's getting ready to go. Back in February 2024, the music industry was rocked by a high-profile lawsuit filed by the man on the right-hand side of your screen named Rodney Little Rod Jones, music producer, against the hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The federal lawsuit lodged in the Southern District of New York accused Diddy of serious misconduct, including sexual assault, harassment, drugging, and involvement in a racketeering enterprise. The allegations spanning from September of 2022 to November of 2023 have drawn significant attention due to their graphic nature and the prominence of the individuals involved. This article explores, and I'm telling you guys right now, the details of Rodney Jones' claims. Is Rodney Jones, a Chicago-based producer and videographer,
who's an actor,
in 2023 on the Love album, Off the Grid, which earned a Grammy nomination, according to Jones' 73 federal complaint. During the period he lived and worked with Diddy, he was subjected to a range of disturbing experiences that went far beyond his role as a producer. The lawsuit paints a picture of Diddy as a powerful figure who allegedly leveraged his influence to intimidate, manipulate, and exploit Lil Rod, Rodney Jones. Amongst the most serious allegations, Lil Rod, Rodney Jones, claims that Sean Diddy Combs sexually
I don't even know if he's an actor. He just made a deal with the devil. I believe some of these people were born into that stuff. Didn't we hear that yesterday?
Including his anus and his balls. The lawsuit details specific incidents, such as Diddy allegedly forcing Jones to work in his bathroom while Diddy showered naked in a glass enclosure, creating an uncomfortable and coercive environment. Jones also alleges that Diddy attempted to groom him into engaging in homosexual activity.
I believe that.
Diddy presented such behavior as a quote-unquote normal practice in the music industry and used a recording of producer Stevie J to manipulate him.
Right, I remember that.
Personal allegations.
Stevie J was his idol.
Diddy of orchestrating a widespread, dangerous criminal sex trafficking organization. He claims he was forced to procure sex workers and engage in sexual acts for Combs' pleasure, often under duress. Jones alleged he was drugged on multiple occasions, waking up disoriented in bed with sex workers, and in one instance, Combs himself. He further asserted that Diddy provided laced alcoholic beverages to minors and sex workers at parties held at his properties, California, New York, Florida, and the Virgin Islands, U.S. The lawsuit includes screenshots and photos purportedly showing underage girls and sex workers at these gatherings, some of whom were allegedly given drug-laced drinks. Rodney Jones also claims that Diddy and his son Justin Combs were involved in the 2022 shooting at a Los Angeles recording studio, alleging they hid during the police investigation. Additionally, he accused Diddy's chief of staff, Miss Christina Coram, of aiding and abetting the alleged misconduct, you guys, comparing her role to the role of Ghislaine Maxwell.
Absolutely.
And Jeffrey Epstein's
Absolutely. See how them dots connect, y'all?
So this is to ZEPATAGE.
See how them dots connect? And this, hold on. And this was before, hold on. His allegations was before this Epstein, before Trump started throwing up Epstein's name, causing the domino effect that it did. See, look at God. See how that worked? It was already in the mix. It was already in the mix. Huh? So here come that connection. So I'm sure he not gonna touch that. If he do, he crazy. And he is crazy. But he thinks that he's above the law. Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Lord have mercy.
Other notable figures named in the lawsuit had included Cuba Gooding Jr.,
Right.
who was accused of sexually harassing and assaulting Rodney Jones on
let me tell you, what's the word they use? Diddy gifted Little Rod to Cuba Gooding. He gifted it.
in January 2023. And rapper Young Miami, who allegedly transported drugs for Diddy and worked as a paid sex worker. Financially, Rodney Jones alleged he was not properly compensated for his work on the Love album, claiming that he's owed over $50,000 in producer fees and royalties and publishing shares to fund his legal battle. He launched a GoFundMe campaign.
He should have paid him
$1,500 of his $50,000 goal by February of 2024. Combs and his legal team vehemently denied all the allegations for Rodney Jones and said that it's all fiction and a shameless attempt to create media hype and extract.
He should have paid him.
Drug-laced drinks. Rodney Jones also claims that Diddy and his son Justin Combs were involved in the 2022 shooting at a Los Angeles recording studio, alleging they hid during the police investigation. Additionally, he accused Diddy's chief of staff, Miss Christina Coram, of aiding and abetting the alleged misconduct, you guys, comparing her role to the role of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein's operations.
So that means okay, so let me say this, y'all. I was so asleep a while ago, wasn't I? Oh, Lord, ain't gonna be no good. So that means that he is very familiar. He was very familiar with their operation before it came out here recently. He was already familiar with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's operation. So I wonder, do he know already about Trump involvement? Because they mimic some of the, they was doing it long before. They've been in it for years. So Diddy read they blueprint. He ran they manual. They groomed Diddy for it. And based on the pictures, it looked like it was more Trump grooming him than Epstein. But he was very familiar with the process and the setup.
Mercy. Other notable figures named in the lawsuit had included laced alcoholic beverages to minors and sex workers at parties held at his properties, California, New York, Florida, and the Virgin Islands, U.S.
Oh, Virgin Islands. Ain't that where we just heard oh boy?
In the music industry, and used a recording of producer Stevie J.
I missed that while ago. The Virgin Islands. Ain't that where Epstein Island one of their islands is in the Virgin Islands?
Dangerous criminal sex trafficking organization. He claims he was forced to procure sex workers and engage in sexual acts for Combs' pleasure, often under duress. Jones alleged he was drugged on multiple occasions, waking up disoriented in bed with sex workers, and in one instance, Combs himself. He further asserted that Diddy provided laced alcoholic beverages to minors and sex workers at parties held at his properties in California, New York, Florida, and the Virgin Islands, U.S. The lawsuit includes screenshots and photos purportedly showing underage girls and sex workers at these gatherings, some of whom were allegedly given drug-laced drinks. Rodney Jones also claims that Diddy and his son Justin Combs were involved in the 2022 shooting at a Los Angeles recording studio, alleging they hid during the police investigation. Additionally, he accused Diddy's chief of staff, Miss Christina Coram, of aiding and abetting the alleged misconduct, you guys, comparing her role to the role of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein's operations. Lord have mercy. Other notable figures named in the lawsuit had included Cuba Gooding Jr., who was accused of sexually harassing and assaulting Rodney Jones on a yacht rented by Diddy in
Cuba.
2023.
Show me the dangling.
Miami, who allegedly transported drugs.
Show me the dangling.
He worked as a paid sex worker. Financially, Lord Rodney Jones alleges he was not properly compensated for his work on the Love album.
Cuba Gooding
owed over $50,000 in producer fees and royalties and publishing shares. To fund his legal battle, he launched a GoFundMe campaign, which raised less than $1,500 of his $50,000 goal by February of 2024. Combs and his legal team vehemently denied all the allegations for Rodney Jones and said that it's all fiction and a shameless attempt to create media hype and extract a quick settlement. In a statement, Diddy's attorney, Sean Holley, asserted that we have overwhelming, indisputable proof that his claims are complete lies. The defense
you should have paid the man his money, what you owed him.
Details such as precise dates and locations of the alleged assaults, and is filed with legally meaningless allegations and lurid theatrics. In August of 2024, Combs filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit, describing it as an attempt to dress up a run-of-the-mill commercial disagreement as a salacious conspiracy. They also took aim at his attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, accusing him of filing lawsuits to garner media attention and pressure defendants into settlements. They claimed that Blackburn ignored their attempts to share evidence disproving Rodney Jones' claims. In response, Blackburn called the dismissal motion a billing exercise by Combs' lawyers, noting that Combs was not provided an affidavit under penalty of perjury to counter Jones' sworn statements. Right? Ladies and gentlemen, this case is now going to discovery. Rodney Jones has came out and stated that he has tons of evidence that the world has never seen that he will show in this case. He says that he has evidence he has not displayed with anyone that he will show 2 weeks after Diddy is sentenced on October the 17th when the trial starts. He claims that he will display this evidence in discovery, and he says that he has unbelievable hardcore evidence. He says he has video evidence. He says he has photo evidence. He says he has tons of other evidence against Sean Diddy Combs that he is presenting in this case and in this trial. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you guys see, Sean Diddy Combs has a whole new problem, because here's the one thing everybody needs to understand. The thing everybody needs to understand is this: Diddy beat the RICO, so they couldn't take his money with that RICO and the sex trafficking. But here's the problem Diddy has. In civil court, there's less of a threshold to find Diddy guilty. In criminal court, it must be beyond a reasonable doubt. In civil court,
preponderance of the
evidence, much less.
Yeah.
If Sean Diddy Combs is found guilty,
I know he wish he would have paid him
of the sex trafficking that he's alleging, or the RICO that he's alleging, of any of these cases, the courts can seize his assets financially and seize his.
He in a very bad position because at this point he's a convicted felon now.
Found guilty.
He's a convicted felon 2 times over. Twice.
Once again,
he did it 2 times.
is found guilty, which is easier to do. Y'all smash the like button. We should have well over 3,000 likes, which is easy to do. Easy
Oh
to
yeah.
do. In a civil
I don't know how they get them likes.
then the feds can come and confiscate all of Sean Diddy Combs.
Yeah, he felon 2 times.
It takes 90 seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool down your room. It's smaller
So
than a
all of that.
All of Sean Diddy Combs' assets
I wonder, do they have a state RICO
equivalent to the
in
amount
New
that
York?
has been determined at the trial. These are all things we're getting ready to find out. But this came down
And he gonna have another sex crime
October the 7th.
that's crossing state line because
This year. The discovery will begin. That means the phase where Lil Rod, Rodney Jones, has to show his evidence that he has stated that he has.
plenty
He will
of.
have a chance to present it in a court of law. And so this is a very, very serious situation because now this situation, depending on the evidence that he brings forward, and he told DJ Academics in an interview, he has unbelievable evidence. And he says he has video, audio evidence, photographic evidence. And he says that he is going to display that evidence in court. And he says that once he displays that evidence, that he will be vindicated. So we will have to see what evidence indeed he says he has. He says he has a ton of it. Now, he shows some evidence he claimed to have in these lawsuits, but he claims that he had much more evidence that the world did not see. And he said he had to get low and protect himself and stay safe this entire time until his court date, to where he could present this evidence. And now they've given him a date, October the 17th, 2025 of this year will be the first day that he starts to present his evidence against Sean Diddy Combs and all of the claims that he made against Diddy. See, when you accuse somebody of something in a civil court, you have to go and show your evidence and discovery, right? And what happens is in discovery, a judge will determine if your evidence is credible enough to warrant a trial. So Lil Rod is going to bring all that evidence to discovery. And if his evidence is what he says it is,
He got names. He got more names.
they're going to go to court. Problem is that this situation can open up Diddy to a whole new can of worms.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Lil Rod's situation is not the same as Cassie's situation. Lil Rod's situation and Cassie's situation are two completely different cases. And remember, Lil Rod said he met with the feds for 3.5 days.
Facts.
And he said he was surprised at all the things that the feds had left out of that case from him meeting with the feds.
Because they was planning on coming back. I'm trying to tell y'all they was going to swoop his ass up.
Why is Diddy's lawyers so hell-bent on getting these two fellas off his record? Is that because they know that the government now has two fellas on Diddy's record?
Absolutely.
And if they're to bring him back to court again, now he can't say that he is not a felon.
Absolutely.
So they want to try to get that off of his record.
And it's about sex crimes.
That's why pardon is so important.
Force.
Pardon will wipe the slate.
Yeah.
But now Diddy miscalculated and he talked down on Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And now he needs Trump. Man, oh man, oh man. And everybody was upset. And I have to tell y'all something before I leave this video tonight. Everybody was upset and said, why didn't the feds bring all the charges in this case?
Shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's an old saying. You don't put all your eggs
in one basket.
In one basket.
And guess what? They still ain't brought.
Was partially running this case since Damian Williams had left
Florida.
Comey knows that her and Donald Trump had beef.
Right.
So she didn't know if Trump was going to use that against her, make her look bad, and pardon Diddy if she hit Diddy with all those charges. So what Comey did, in my opinion, was put a little bit here and hold a little bit in her back pocket for a second go-round, in case Donald Trump wanted to do something crazy. And then she wait till Donald J. Trump got out of office and come hit his ass with the whammer, slammer, thank you, mama, again. Let me say this to you. So when she held some things back, because remember, if she put everything in that case, all the things in that one case, and she loses, she can never come back and charge any of that stuff again. Diddy, that his slate will be wiped clean of all of those things. But if she hit him with a little bit here, and just to see what Trump's gonna do. But Trump came and fired her ass anyways. So now he got his own guy in there, Jay Clayton. He's not gonna undercut Jay Clayton. So now we're fitting to see what Jay Clayton has planned for Sean Diddy Combs. Because I think revenge is a dish that's best served cold. And I think when Diddy said that Trump needed to be eradicated, I think that stung Donald J. Trump.
He could have been talking about that trafficking stuff.
I'm going to ask all of you a question.
He could have been, Diddy could have been talking about that trafficking stuff.
He's still going to pardon him. Let me ask you one question, ladies and gentlemen.
You know that I'm thinking about it.
Right now,
hold on.
Do you think Donald?
Because Trump said that, you know, before he got into politics, him and Diddy was cool because y'all was doing the same stuff. So Diddy may not have understood, or he may not have trusted him going into politics, knowing what they had going on the ground. And so that comment could have been talking about what's going on. So, you know, if I was dirty in the mind like Trump, I wouldn't fool with Diddy right now, cause he is he's thirsty, but he's a loose cannon, and he is panicking, you know, and all he trying to do is get out. So whatever he know on anybody, they getting a threatening call, they getting something. Do whatever you need to do to get me up out of here, or I will tell everything I know. So I see that too, you know. So it just would not be a good business. Well, that's not business. If I was crooked, he just would no. But you can't tell Trump nothing. So I hope he doesn't open up a whole nother can on his own self. Because that's what Diddy was probably talking about. And at this point, everybody could tell on Trump that's still alive, that he didn't have killed off.
They Trump pardoned him. If you're a man, you got a better chance at getting pregnant, boy. Once again, Donald Trump and Elon Musk just went for the gusto. They hate each other. despise each other.
Elon ain't brought up Diddy though.
The one thing you can believe about Donald Trump is he's never given an olive branch to any of his enemies. Look at his history. Once you turn the enemy of his, you done, son. Donald Trump,
unless you got some on him,
and complete loyalty. If not, he will fire your ass. These are facts. Let me repeat that again. Now, the other guys who y'all say, J.D. Vance and these guys, those were political opponents. So that's different. When you are a political opponent under the Republican Party, you have to go against each other in those primaries. So after that, they all got to rally around Trump. That's a different situation from Elon Musk. That's a different situation from people who have personal beefs with Donald Trump, like Rosie O'Donnell, Sean P. Diddy Combs. And remember, most people think that Diddy leans Democrat.
Teenagers are building businesses with AI.
Shit. Trump used to be Democrat. I told y'all that.
You really think Donald Trump's going to be able to go against his entire fan base? Who hates and despises Sean Diddy Combs with a passion? I was looking at the PDP, the PD.
They don't hate him enough for me.
Podcast just yesterday. The Patrick David Beck PDB podcast just the other day. I want y'all to go. They lean Republican. They're very heavy on Trump. And I went to go see something. And I looked on their community post. So you guys can go look at this now. After you leave this video. They put up a poll. And the poll asked, and remember, this is that Trump Network, PDB, Patrick David Beck, PDB podcast. Everybody listen. They put up a poll, and the poll asked, should Trump pardon Diddy? And damn it, that poll said 97% of them people said hell no. MAGA hates Diddy. In fact, if you went and read those comments, they said that if Trump did that, that would be one of the unforgivable things that he did. Now, you don't have to believe me. Go look it up for yourself. It's in their community post. They put a poll up. And go click down where it says comments. Every last damn one of them was scathing. They all hate Diddy. Trump ain't gonna undercut his entire base. They already pissed off about the situation going on with the Ghislaine Maxwell and the whole situation that's going on with the Jeffrey Epstein files. You think he gonna shit, you got another thing coming. And remember, y'all, somebody said this, and I didn't think about this, but I truly believe it now. Somebody said they believe that Trump is going to make sure he keeps his family involved in politics to continue to keep that power structure going forward. So nobody can really try to come after him when he gets out of office, his political enemies. So with that being said, I don't see him letting off of some of these things. I don't see it. Some people keep saying, yeah, I think he'll do it. No, man, you got to watch how Trump moves, man. Trump don't have no remorse, man. He one of them old school players, bro. You turn against him, bro, it's for help. And that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about if it's beef like that for real, it's beef like that for real. You know what I mean? And so, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And here's the thing Donald Trump's going to get in trouble with, too. Donald Trump will sit up there saying that his feelings got involved because of how Diddy talked bad about him. That's not supposed to have anything to do with presidential pardons. Trump can get in trouble with all that, those pardons. Because if you're pardoning people because they're friends with you, that can cause major issues. And that can cause what you call impeachment issues. Right? And if you notice, Donald Trump's the type of guy, if you push him, he gonna push back. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, tried to push at Donald Trump. And Donald Trump stood up there talking crazy. And went full blow at this dude. He did everything but sue him. But he went full blow at this guy. This dude walked out the White House with a black eye. And you tell me how he got that. He walked out the White House with a black eye. How he get that? How did Elon Musk get a black eye? Answer that question. Answer that question. You get sent out the White House and you got an eye candy. Crazy work, you know. Hey, I really appreciate you guys for supporting the channel, supporting the network. Like, share, and subscribe. Once again, there are links. Get the free membership on our website. That way you guys won't miss any of our news update stories or videos. They're all on the website, ticketvmedia.com. You go over there, you can go right to the members part and become a free member. That way you guys get all the updates. Also, Straight Drop Weight Loss Formula. Make sure y'all go tap in and copy some of that as well as subscribing to our podcast show. Link will be pinned at the top of the chat down there below. And also, we just appreciate all y'all who support the channel. Cash App, PayPal.
A tight-knit college in a city of opportunity. Washburn offers the best of both worlds. Close, but not too close.
Oh, okay, y'all. Good night. I'm sorry. I was out. Whew.